Chapter 1139. Oh right. Lu Rulan suddenly thought of something. She looked at Xia Ping and said, based on your current appearance, if you walk around the Blood Soul mainland, you will definitely be discovered by the Soul race. In order to avoid any accidents, I suggest you disguise yourself. Although Xia Ping looked about the same as a Soul race member, there were still some differences. If Soul Palace members saw him, they would definitely know that Xia Ping wasn't a Soul race member. What would happen then would not be clear. Don't worry, I have already considered this. That's why I prepared a disguise mask in advance. Xia Ping took out a mask that he had bought from the Heaven and Earth sect. It could change into the appearance of the major races in the universe. Of course, this was just an ordinary disguise mask. It could only change one's appearance, but not one's body. Even so, the physique of the Soul race was similar to that of humans. Changing his appearance was enough for him to blend in with the Soul race. What? Lu Rulan was shocked. Her beautiful eyes widened. She saw Xia Ping put on this strange mask and instantly changed into another appearance. He was completely an ordinary person from the Soul race. If she had not known about this extraterrestrial devil's true appearance, she probably would not have been able to tell. He was indeed an extraterrestrial devil. He actually had such a terrifying technique. She guessed that there were definitely many extraterrestrial devils like Xia Ping hiding in the Blood Soul mainland. However, this was good. At least Xia Ping would not cause any big trouble, and her relationship with the extraterrestrial devils would not be exposed. Although she wanted to use Xia Ping to help her take revenge, she did not want to become the Soul Palace's enemy. That way, there would be no place for her in the Blood Soul mainland. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, there was a rustling sound in the surrounding forest. Following that, there was the sound of branches breaking. At the same time, there was a violent aura that covered the sky. Xia Ping turned around and squinted his eyes. Immediately, he saw ferocious beasts appearing in the distance. They looked like ferocious tigers. They were huge and 3 meters tall. Their bodies were pitch black as if they were made of steel. There was a single horn on their heads. A pair of vertical eyes emitted a murderous glint. Their sharp claws were placed on the ground, leaving shocking marks. Their fur was gorgeous. They were definitely ferocious beasts. Moreover, there were many of them. There were 20 to 30 of them. In the universe, there were 2 types of monsters in the world. The first type was the demonic beasts. They had intelligence, culture, and inheritance. They had even built huge countries. They were a super race that was not inferior to the human race. They could not communicate with other races. The so-called demon beasts had no intelligence, or rather, they had low intelligence. They could not communicate with other races. However, these beasts all had ancient bloodlines. They had powerful bodies and shocking bloodline abilities. Their battle prowess wasn't any weaker than any other race. Once they went berserk, even the human race would be wary of them. Moreover, they were numerous and could be found all over the universe. Oh no, this is a single-horned steel tiger? Demon beasts. Demon bee. Demon beasts. Demon beasts. Lu Rulan's expression changed when she saw the ferocious beasts. She could immediately tell that they were unique to the forest. In the Blood Soul continent, these beasts were also the overlords of the Blood Soul continent. In the primeval forest, these beasts were the true overlords. Race soul beasts were the best of the beasts. Their bodies were harder than diamonds. Normal attacks were like tickles to them. Every year Ling Ling and Ling were the best of the beasts. Their bodies were harder than diamonds. Normal attacks were like tickles to them. What frightened the Soul race the most was that because they had low intelligence, their souls were extremely violent, so ordinary mental attacks were useless against them. This was equivalent to taking away half of the Soul race's combat power. It was easy to imagine the threat they posed to the Soul race. It was a one-sided battle. Roar! The Ling Ling and Ling roared. Their eyes were filled with ferocity. They looked at Xia Ping and Lu Rulan and drooled. It was as if they had seen delicious food. Their 4 limbs stepped on the ground, and their bodies moved in an instant. Huge holes appeared on the ground, and their huge bodies rushed over like lightning. Along the way, it tore through the air, creating air explosions and creating monstrous gales that swept in all directions. Tree after tree was swept up by the gales and turned into piles of sawdust. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Xia Ping and Lu Rulan. Their giant claws were like blades, slicing and tearing the two of them into pieces. Hell Demon Suppression Spear. Xia Ping took out the Hell Demon Suppression Spear. With his body as the center, a violent aura was generated. It was as if a demon god's aura had exploded. He gripped the Hell Demon Suppression Spear tightly and stabbed it at the beasts. Dozens of spear shadows appeared in the air. The spear's tip produced a spiral force that spun continuously. Dong dong dong. The ling ling ling. The ling ling ling. The Hell Demon Suppression Spear pierced through their bodies easily. It was as easy as paper. Suddenly, a large amount of blood burst out from their bodies. The tyrannical chi energy destroyed every part of their bodies. Boom. In the next second, their huge bodies fell to the ground, creating holes. Their eyes were wide open, as if they could not believe that they were killed so easily by humans. This. Lu Rulan was shocked. They were known as the overlords of the forest. The people from the soul race would have to sacrifice many lives to kill them. However, they were killed so easily by this demon. Their bodies that were harder than diamonds were pierced easily. It was a shocking scene. Without a doubt, the demon's weapon was extremely terrifying. It was definitely a demonic weapon. She immediately felt that the demons were not only scary in their own strength, but also in their possession of many powerful weapons. This multiplied their strength and made them unbeatable. Not a bad beast. They're full of energy. Looks like we'll have dinner tonight. Xia Ping rubbed his chin. He grabbed the ling, ling and ling, ling, and placed them in his space ring as food storage. A few days later, Xia Ping and Lu Rulan headed for the Soul Stone Mine. Along the way, they encountered many beasts. They were all unique to the Blood Soul mainland. However, Xia Ping killed them one by one. None of them were a match for him. Lu Rulan's injuries had healed as well. She was almost as good as before. Due to the daily consumption of ferocious beast meat, her chi and blood had become extremely vigorous and radiant. She seemed to have become even more beautiful. After all, ferocious beast meat was a very precious resource in the Blood Soul continent. Even the big families could not consume it every day. It was very beneficial to the human body. Xia Ping also felt that his energy was much stronger. The power in his body had increased as well. Chapter 1140. Precious Spiritual Medicine? Xia Ping also knew that in a continent like this, the treasures were definitely not limited to soul stones. There were also many precious spiritual medicine growing there, which was extremely beneficial to martial artists. In the past few days, he had also found many spiritual medicine along the way, but they were just ordinary spiritual medicine with average value. Now that Corinne had personally reminded him, it was obvious that the spiritual medicine was definitely not ordinary. Where are you going? Isn't the Soul Stone Mine in this direction? Lu Rulan immediately noticed that Xia Ping seemed to have changed his direction and could not help but remind him. There's no hurry. Let's find a spiritual medicine first, Xia Ping said. His figure flickered as he headed in the direction that Corinne had pointed. Lu Rulan had no choice but to follow him. More than 10 minutes later, Xia Ping and Lu Rulan arrived at a valley. Before they even got close, the two of them sensed that the valley was filled with the rich fragrance of spiritual medicine. They even felt a sense of concentration and calmness, feeling that the valley was extremely peaceful. All of their worries were thrown away, and they were in a state of emptiness. It was extremely magical. Oh my God, this is the peace bloom. When Xia Ping and Lu Rulan entered the valley, Lu Rulan's beautiful eyes widened when she saw the spiritual medicine growing in the middle of the valley. She could not help but exclaim, clearly recognizing what it was. The spiritual medicine looked like a sunflower growing on the ground, emitting circles of holy white light that spread out and covered the entire valley. At that moment, there seemed to be many ferocious beasts around the valley. There were hundreds and thousands of them in different shapes and sizes, and every one of them was not inferior to the steel tiger they had encountered earlier. They looked around cautiously, their eyes filled with savagery and greed. Bathing in the light, they all hoped to devour this flower. However, there were too many competitors around. They did not dare to make any moves at the moment, afraid that they would become the target of public criticism if they acted rashly. Even if they had low intelligence, it did not mean that they did not have a crisis instinct. "What's a peace bloom?" Xiaoping asked. He knew that this spiritual medicine was definitely extraordinary. If it was not so, why would so many ferocious beasts appear around the valley and cause a fight? The peace bloom is an extremely precious spiritual medicine in the Blood Soul continent. Only the bigwigs of the Soul Palace are qualified to possess it. I've heard of it before, but I've never seen it before. Lu Rulan said, it said that consuming the peace bloom has the effect of calming one's mind and removing distracting thoughts, allowing one to enter the state of epiphany more easily. Furthermore, it can greatly increase one's soul energy, enhance one's aptitude, and increase one's magic powers. A single peace bloom is worth as much as a city. She was also very excited. She didn't expect to find the peace bloom in such a remote place. If she could get this spirit herb, her strength would definitely improve greatly. Perhaps he would have the chance to ascend to the transcendent realm and take his revenge. After all, Huining City's Soul Palace Lord was only a divine power realm early-stage cultivator. He was only one realm away from her. Very good. Then let's get rid of all these beasts and seize the peace bloom. Xia Ping was very satisfied and immediately got to work. What? Hearing that, Lu Rulan was scared half to death. Did this perverted demon know what was going on? Hundreds and thousands of beasts surrounded the valley, and danger lurked everywhere. In such a situation, this perverted demon still wanted to seize the peace bloom. Did he not want to live anymore? Was he not afraid of being surrounded and beaten to death by these beasts? She felt that this demon was practically a lunatic, the kind that did not want to live anymore. However, before she could say anything, Xia Ping had already made his move. Spiritual secret technique, Lion's adamantine seal. Xia Ping formed a seal with both hands, and the power of his consciousness surged. His entire body exploded with golden light, as if a divine lion had appeared behind him, looking down from above. Immediately, the divine lion roared into the sky, and its spiritual wave solidified. Golden light spread in all directions, covering the entire valley. Ouch! Lu Rulan was instantly moved. Her head felt like it was about to split open, as if the spiritual attack was about to tear her brain apart. She retreated continuously, escaping the range of the spiritual wave attack. However, the other beasts could not escape so quickly, and they were immediately heavily injured. Peng ping ping. In the blink of an eye, the weaker beasts were knocked to the ground. Their souls were shattered, their bodies turned into empty shells, and their eyes lost their luster. Even the rocks on the ground were affected by the spiritual attack. Shocking cracks appeared on them, and the weaker rocks were shaken to the point of madness. Far away, large trees began to crackle, and countless cracks appeared on them, as if they were swept by a storm. No way, what kind of spiritual secret technique is this? It's so violent and unstoppable. It's like a divine lion has descended. Could it be a technique comparable to Soul Palace's secret technique? Lu Rulan was shocked. She did not expect to see a spiritual secret technique not inferior to Soul Palace's from an evil devil. It had unstoppable power. With just one attack, most of the beasts in the valley were shaken to death. Although the other beasts with powerful spiritual powers did not die, they were shaken to the point of disorientation. They swayed and bled from their orifices. This was the terror of a spiritual attack. No matter how strong one's body was, even if it was harder than diamond, it was useless. If one couldn't block it, they would die. All of you become my food. Xia Ping attacked again and again, killing all of them. Ever since he awakened the golden crow of Hell's stomach, his need for food had increased greatly. He especially craved food that was filled with energy. This made him a glutton like a glutton. Therefore, these beasts were great nourishment for him. Eating one was equivalent to taking a pill. It could speed up his cultivation and increase his magic power. A dozen or so minutes later, all the beasts in the valley were killed. They piled up into a small mountain. It was a majestic sight, and the valley was filled with the thick smell of blood. Xia Ping took action and quickly stored the beasts into his space ring as food. This is insane. Lu Rulan was numb. She sensed that the evil devil's martial arts realm was the same as hers. It was only at the fulfillment realm, and it was even at the early stage. However, his combat strength was unbelievably strong. It was unbelievable that he could defeat powerful fulfillment realm enemies. That's right, there's also the peace bloom. Xia Ping walked up, wanting to pluck the peace bloom as well and take it for himself. Stop. Leave the peace bloom. At that moment, a shout came from afar. In the blink of an eye, a terrifying arrow spiraled over, aiming for Xia Ping's head. Like lightning, it was filled with killing intent. Chapter 1141. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In an instant, a rumbling sound came from afar. Immediately, a dozen earth dragons flew over from afar. Their auras were mighty and the ground shook. Soon, they arrived before Xia Ping and Lu Rulan. On the back of the earth dragons, dozens of silhouettes appeared. Among them was a middle-aged man in a black robe with a longbow in his hand. His gaze was cold. It was obvious that he was the one who wanted to shoot Xia Ping. However, the black-robed man was not the leader of this group. One of them wore a gorgeous robe and rode a golden earth dragon by himself. He looked majestic and handsome, and he had a long sword on his back. He looked like a high and mighty noble young master. The people around him were like guards, surrounding him. It was obvious that his identity was not ordinary. Be careful. Lu Rulan's expression was very serious. To be able to tame a fierce beast like the earth dragon, his background is not ordinary. Even the whining city hall master could not do this. This group of people might be nobles from the Soul Hall main hall. They are extremely powerful. She was knowledgeable and immediately recognized that this group of people had a powerful background. A force like Whining City could not be compared to them. They were at least important figures from the Soul Hall headquarters. Moreover, these people were at least Purple Mansion realm cultivators. The strongest one was at the peak of Fulfillment Realm. All of them were elites. No matter where they were in the Blood Soul mainland, they were a force that could not be underestimated. As long as there were no Divine Realm cultivators, they could do whatever they wanted and no one dared to offend them. He took an arrow from me and did not die. This kid seems to be quite capable. The black-robed middle-aged man was slightly surprised to see that Xia Ping was not dead. According to his expectation, this kid should have been killed by his arrow in an instant without a chance to fight back. Xia Ping was very unhappy. This group of people wanted to kill him without saying anything. They were extremely arrogant and had no regard for human life. However, before he could speak, the young man in the luxurious robe shouted excitedly, "Peace bloom." That's right, it's the legendary peace bloom that grows in this valley. Just now, I was wondering why there was such a big commotion in this place, so I came to take a look out of curiosity. I didn't expect to find the peace bloom. This young master's luck is really too good. If I can consume this peace bloom, I'll definitely be able to ascend to the divine tier. He laughed heartily, looking very excited. Congratulations, young master. Congratulations, young master. Young master is indeed someone blessed by heaven and earth. I didn't expect that he would find the peace bloom just by coming out to train. Even the heavens have decided that young master will become the Soul Palace master in the future. The surrounding people were all flattering him, and the young man had a comfortable expression on his face. Obviously, he was very comfortable and satisfied with the compliments of the people around him. Men, pluck this peace bloom for me. The young man in a luxurious robe waved his hand and issued an order to his subordinates. Yes, young master. A guard rode on an earth dragon, stomping on the ground, causing it to rumble and shake like a hurricane. He wanted to rush to the center of the valley and pluck the peace god flower. The guard riding the earth dragon clearly saw Xia Ping standing in front of Ning Shenhua, but he didn't want to talk nonsense with Xia Ping. He didn't say a word, and his face showed a cold expression. The earth dragon was still madly running, and there were wild gales and waves all around, as if it wanted to trample the person in front of it to death. To them, anyone who dared to stand in their way was no different from an ant. If they were to be crushed, then so be it. In the Blood Soul continent, human life was like grass. Very arrogant. Xia Ping's eyes flashed coldly. This group of people simply didn't put him in their eyes, snatching the peace bloom as if it was a matter of course. Extremely overbearing. He punched out. Don't. The tyrannical fist energy blasted out from his body. It could be called the 100 Steps Divine Fist as it smashed into the Earth Dragon. Oh no, what kind of attack was this? The guard immediately sensed a great danger, and he was finally moved. He no longer had the arrogant expression from before, and every cell in his body felt the approaching danger. But the speed of the fist energy was too fast. Even if he wanted to turn around and escape, it was too late. No, no, no! The guard shouted. In the next second, the fist energy exploded like a nuclear bomb. The huge body of the Earth Dragon exploded, turning into a pile of meat paste, and blood poured all over the ground. The guard only let out a shrill scream and was smashed into pieces by the punch. He went to hell with the Earth Dragon, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't put his body back together. Xia Ping still stood in the same place, not moving a step. What? Seeing the elite guard killed by a punch and turned into a pile of meat paste, the group of people finally looked at Xia Ping, but all of them showed anger. Lowly peasant, how dare you? One of the guards shouted. Who told you to kill my brother? Do you want to die? Everyone was extremely angry, and their faces were gloomy. They didn't expect that there would be someone who dared to attack them. It was simply audacious to the extreme. If you dare to attack me, it won't be a pity even if you die 100 times. Xia Ping sneered, if any of you dare to act rashly and dare to snatch the peace bloom in front of me, you will die. His murderous intent instantly enveloped the whole valley. Who is this guy? How dare he stop this young master from getting the peace bloom? The man in the luxurious robe frowned. He felt very unhappy. There was actually someone who wanted to stop him from getting the peace bloom. I'm not sure. The middle-aged man with the longbow next to him said, I saw this kid trying to pick the peace bloom, so I wanted to shoot him to death with an arrow, lest he ruin the young master's plan. I didn't expect him to have some ability to be able to block my arrow. He said what had just happened. He can actually block your arrow. No wonder my man was killed by him with a punch. It seems that he has some ability. No wonder he is so unruly and doesn't know how to appreciate favors. The man in the luxurious robe sneered. He was not moved at all by the death of his men. These guards died for him, and it was their duty. No matter how many died, he would not feel sad at all. Just like slaves, the number of deaths could be replenished. Young master, don't worry. I will go kill this lowly peasant now, eradicate this dangerous factor, and snatch the peace bloom. The middle-aged man with the longbow said in a deep voice, his body exuding a strong murderous intent. Chapter 1142. Wait, there seems to be a pretty girl here. Suddenly, the man in the luxurious robe noticed Lu Rulan standing beside Xia Ping. He was previously attracted by the peace bloom and didn't notice Lu Rulan beside him. Now that his gaze was attracted by Xia Ping, he noticed Lu Rulan immediately and his eyes lit up. Lu Rulan was simply too charming. She had a perfect face and the aura of a saintess. Coupled with her voluptuous body, it was simply tempting. Especially when she was wearing a cheongsam, it accentuated her figure even more seductive. She was simply like a Greek goddess who walked out of the myths. Countless men would kneel before her skirt. The man in the luxurious robe was no exception. He was instantly captivated. Indeed the best in the world. I've seen many beautiful women, but I've never seen a beauty with such temperament. She's so beautiful that she doesn't seem like someone from the mortal world. Could this beauty be that lowly commoner's wife? Why is she beside him? She's actually wearing such shameless clothes. The moral degeneration of the world is getting worse and worse. If she's really that lowly commoner's wife, she probably wouldn't wear such clothes. She might be his female slave. Damn, what right does that lowly commoner have to get such a beauty? How infuriating. Just where did he buy it from? Just what kind of luck did he have? He didn't even offer such a beauty to the Soul Palace's headquarters. Just what are those people doing? I'll have to punish them when I get back. Let's see if they still dare to go against me. The guards around them noticed Lu Rulan as well. Their eyes were filled with greed. They could not wait to take this peerless beauty as their own and dominate her completely. These guys? Lu Rulan frowned. She was very unhappy because these people were looking at her like she was a commodity. They were picking and choosing, as if they didn't treat her as a human being. Compared to the other realm demon beside her, she actually liked this other realm demon much more. At least this guy wouldn't look at her like that. However, she also knew that this was the culture of the Blood Soul mainland. The strong could have everything and dominate everything. The weak couldn't resist and could only accept it obediently. It could be said that the level of hierarchy in this continent was much stricter than any place Xia Ping had ever seen. The difference of one level was like the difference between heaven and earth. The weak could only submit or die. It was impossible to offend one's superior. This was because humans who cultivated occult spirit techniques were different from humans who cultivated martial arts. If there was a huge gap in spirit power, no matter what technique one used, it would not be able to make up for it. High-level humans could easily slaughter a group of low-level humans. Moreover, in order to preserve their lives, the weak had to offer large amounts of tribute to the strong. Even if the strong took a liking to the weak's wife, they had to obediently hand her over without resistance. Among these experts, there was no doubt that Soul Palace's people were supreme. They controlled all the power, and everyone below them was exploited and oppressed by Soul Palace. Lu Qi. The man in the luxurious robe narrowed his eyes and looked down from above. He gave an order, go up and kill this lowly commoner. Dismember his body with 5 horses and bring the woman beside him back to me, as well as the Ning Shenhua. Not only did he want to kill Xia Ping, but he also wanted to snatch the woman by Xia Ping's side, snatch the Ning Shenhua, and dominate everything. As for words like discussion, cooperation, and negotiation, they would never appear in his dictionary. To put it bluntly, he did not care about the man's identity at all. After all, there were not many people on the Blood Soul continent that he could not afford to offend. Yes, young master. The middle-aged man named Lu Qi nodded slightly. He immediately stood on the Earth Dragon and knocked an arrow, pouring all the power of his consciousness and mana into the bow and arrow. He cultivated an archery technique called the Soul Extinguishing Arrow. Using spirit power to lock onto the enemy's aura, he would then concentrate all his mana on the arrow and release it in an instant. The destructive power of the arrow would reach a shocking level. Although he was only a cultivator at the peak of the fulfillment realm, a full-powered arrow could even heavily injure a cultivator at the early stage of the divinity realm if it hit. Even if his consciousness locked onto the enemy's aura, this was also a tracking arrow. If it did not completely hit the enemy, or if the arrow was not destroyed, it would not stop. Even if the enemy fled to the ends of the world, the tracking arrow would still be able to track them down and kill them from hundreds of kilometers away. Swoosh! In the blink of an eye, an arrow was released. It tore through the air and spun continuously, producing a buzzing sound as it shot towards Xia Ping at an extremely fast speed. Lu Qi was only 2 to 3 kilometers away from Xia Ping. The arrow's speed reached 20 to 30 times the speed of sound. It arrived before Xia Ping in the blink of an eye with a terrifying killing intent. That's fast. Lu Rulan was shocked. Now that she had recovered her cultivation base at the late stage of the fulfillment realm, her powerful consciousness could sense how terrifying Lu Qi's arrow was. Even though she could sense the arrow's trajectory with her spiritual power, her body could not react in time. If the arrow was aimed at her, she would have been killed long ago. This was not a secret technique that could only be obtained in an ordinary city. It was definitely a shocking secret technique that came from the Soul Hall's headquarters. How dare you come again? Xia Ping's gaze was getting colder. Under his consciousness, the arrow's speed was extremely slow. It was almost as if it was still. It would be a piece of cake for him to dodge it if he wanted to. However, he did not dodge. Instead, he planned to take it head-on. He had to kill the chicken to scare the monkey. Low-grade spirit weapon, black horn armor. At that moment, Xia Ping immediately activated his low-grade spirit weapon, black horn armor. It was a powerful spirit weapon that he had obtained from the red scarf thief. It had an extremely powerful defense. Once activated, with his current magic power, even a normal divine power realm cultivator would not be able to hurt him. Therefore, Xia Ping was fearless. He merely stood where he was and let the arrow shoot towards him. In the blink of an eye, the arrow turned into a stream of light and struck Xia Ping's body. However, at that moment, layers of black energy barriers exploded from the black horn armor. Hundreds and thousands of layers were activated, like mountains stacked on top of each other. Meanwhile, the arrow's energy exploded instantly. The layers of energy barriers were destroyed, and hundreds of layers were torn apart. However, it still could not penetrate the black horn armor's defense. The place where Xia Ping was standing was also bombarded. A huge shockwave swept in all directions, creating a shocking hole in the ground. Gravel flew everywhere and sand rolled. The people around could not see what was happening. Chapter 1143. Poor guy. He's probably turned into ashes now. What's there to be pitiful about? It's not a good thing for someone who doesn't know what's good for him to die. Indeed, if he had escaped earlier, he might have had a chance to live. Now that he dares to fight us head-on and put up a desperate fight, who's going to die if he doesn't? That's right. Not only is he dead now, but even the woman next to him belongs to the young master. This is what happens to those who dare offend the young master. This is a lesson learned. How dare you act so arrogantly without any strength? I can laugh at this joke for a whole year. The guards around him sneered. They were not surprised at Xia Ping's death at all. After all, only divine realm cultivators could block Lu Qi's arrow. No, that's not right. That guy isn't dead yet. Unlike the people around him, Lu Qi's expression was extremely serious. That arrow was different from any of the arrows he had shot before. He did not feel like he had killed his enemy at all. That was because the moment the arrow was destroyed, the divine sense he had imbued into the arrow had clearly sensed that his arrow had not pierced through the enemy's body. Instead, it had been destroyed. Even though the yellow sand was billowing and he could not see his surroundings, he could still sense that the enemy was still there. A lingering sense of danger enveloped his body as if a great disaster was about to befall him. Swoosh! Suddenly, Lu Qi noticed a dazzling white light appear in the yellow sand. It was even more dazzling than the sun in the sky. It was as if it was the only light in the world. The moment the white light appeared, the entire world seemed to darken. It was as if the light had completely locked onto his body. No matter where he ran, he would not be able to escape. Impossible! Lu Seven let out a shrill cry. He finally understood how those enemies who had been shot in the head by him felt before they died. The feeling of being targeted was so helpless. It was as if he had been targeted by the Grim Reaper. No matter where he ran, the Grim Reaper's power would follow him like a shadow and descend upon him. It was an unchangeable ending. He could even sense that the white light was even faster than his arrow. Even though he had trained his reflexes for hundreds of years, he could not react in time at all. Just as he was about to dodge, the white light pierced through his forehead. A small, bloody hole appeared, and blood dripped out of it. So fast. That was the only thought left in Lu Qi's mind before he died. His eyes were wide open, as if he could not believe that he had been killed in an instant. He did not even have a chance to fight back. With a plop, his body lost its support and fell from the earth dragon's body, rolling on the ground like a football. Lord Lu! The surrounding guards all cried out in surprise. They were stunned because everything had happened too quickly. From the appearance of the white light to Lu Qi's death, only a breath's time had passed. In such a short period of time, they did not know what had happened. All they knew was that Lu Qi suddenly let out a blood-curdling scream and fell from the earth dragon's body, dying on the spot. Lu Qi, the man in the luxurious robe, was also shocked. His most capable subordinate had suddenly died. He was now in a completely dumbfounded state, and his entire mind was blank. Not dead, that lowlife is not dead yet? Someone shouted. At this moment, the sand and dust dispersed, revealing the original appearance of the person. Xia Ping was still standing in his original position, completely unharmed. It's him. That lowlife killed Lord Lu Qi. He must have done it. Many people screamed because there were no other enemies at the scene apart from Xia Ping and Lu Rulan. Lu Rulan was a woman and a slave, so they automatically ignored her. They did not treat her as a fighting force at all. How is that possible? How did that lowlife kill Lord Lu? What happened just now? The guards still did not know how Lu Qi had died because Xia Ping was 2 to 3 kilometers away from them. He should not have been able to attack them from such a distance. However, the problem was that Lu Qi had died on the spot. That was the truth, so they were all confused. He's too powerful. The only one who saw it clearly was Lu Rulan. She clearly saw that the extraterrestrial devil grabbed with his hand. His mana vibrated and a sharp dagger was formed instantly. He then threw the dagger lightly. The speed of the dagger was even faster than an arrow. In the next second, she heard Lu Qi's blood-curdling scream and saw Lu Qi being killed and rolling off the Earth Dragon's body. He killed a cultivator at the peak of the fulfillment realm with just one move. She thought she was dreaming. Is this the true power of an extraterrestrial devil? How can he be so terrifying? Moreover, with such power, why would he need to find the Soul Hall's mental secret technique? With that power alone, he could defeat all his enemies and be invincible. She thought she knew Xia Ping's power, but it seemed like she had greatly underestimated him. He was unfathomable, and she had no idea what his bottom line was. All of you must die. Xia Ping looked at the man in the luxurious robe and the others calmly. His tone was calm as if he was the Grim Reaper's order to kill. If the King of Hell wanted someone dead at midnight, who would dare to stay until midnight? Kill him. Let's go together and kill this lowlife. The man in the luxurious robe was completely infuriated by those words. His face was twisted and red as if he had gone mad. He roared madly and gave his guards an order. His body was trembling slightly because he could feel a terrifying killing intent from Xia Ping. It was as if he was being stared at by a peerless, ferocious beast. His life was like a candle in the wind that could be extinguished at any time. This was a feeling he had never felt in his life. This was a near-death experience. No matter what identity, status, power, or wealth, they had to lower their heads in the face of death. They were all incomparably humble. If he didn't kill this brat, he would definitely die. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hearing the order, dozens of guards moved, riding on the earth dragons. Like an army, they moved forward majestically, charging towards Xia Ping. With this kind of power, even a 100-meter-tall city wall would be easily knocked down. Kill. Xia Ping stood where he was and threw a punch. Sacred ultimate skill, Sun God Fist. Immediately, his fist shone with golden light. Endless flames gathered together and formed a giant red sun. It crushed towards the group of guards just like that. These flames contained the essence of the sun and had the characteristics of destruction. Once touched by it, it would not stop until the body was burned to ashes. It was extremely domineering. Chapter 1144. Oh no, he's not from the Blood Soul mainland. He's an extraterritorial demon. Only an extraterritorial demon can wield such power, someone shouted immediately. In the Blood Soul mainland, almost everyone mastered the power of mental attacks. Very few learned other powers. Only the extraterritorial demons could wield the power of fire. What? The man in the luxurious robe's expression changed. He finally understood why the young man before him was not afraid of his identity and was so bold and unscrupulous. It turned out that he was not from the Blood Soul mainland, but an extraterritorial demon. To the real extraterritorial demons, his background and identity were a joke. There was no one that an extraterritorial demon would not dare to kill. Oh no! The group of guards immediately felt that something was wrong. They initially thought that they would be able to ride on the earth dragons and trample the arrogant kid to death. Who would have thought that the kid would suddenly turn into an extraterritorial demon and unleash such terrifying power of fire? It seemed like every flame in the air could destroy everything. Boom! At that moment, the sun fell from the sky and immediately erupted with a terrifying power of flames. It was like a nuclear explosion, and the impact spread out in all directions. A crater with a diameter of a few kilometers appeared on the ground immediately, with a loud rumble. At the same time, the power of fire exploded and swept in all directions, hitting the guards. In just a breath's time, the guards were surrounded by flames and burned. Soon, they let out shrill screams that were extremely ear-piercing. However, the screams did not last long because their bodies were quickly burned to ashes by the flames. Even the earth dragons could not escape the fate of being roasted and were directly burned into charcoal. The fire spread on the ground, burning the rocks and turning them into molten lava that flowed in all directions. Dozens of cracks appeared on the ground, and thick smoke rose as the lava flowed. Such a scene was no different from a volcanic eruption. "They're all dead." Lu Rulan was speechless. Even though she was standing behind Xia Ping, she could feel the power of fire that could affect heaven and earth. The heat waves were so strong that even her bones were about to melt. She was stupefied. The power of this move was too terrifying. Those menacing imperial guards had all died. If they didn't die in the aftermath of the explosion, they were burned to death by the flames. Not a single one was spared. The only ones who were still alive were the man in the luxurious robe and 2 or 3 of his confidants. Run quickly. Those are fiends from the outer realm. We can't fight them head-on. Quickly return to the Soul Palace and inform the palace master of this matter. A terrifying outer realm evil demon has descended. Immediately send troops to surround and annihilate it. The man in the luxurious robe and the others were scared out of their wits. They no longer had the courage to fight. The reputation of the extraterritorial fiends was like the shadow of a tree. God knew how many experts of the Blood Soul continent had been killed by them. The strength that he had displayed had scared them out of their wits. They quickly rode on the earth dragons and turned around to leave. As for the Peace Bloom, they no longer dared to hope for it. It was already a great fortune to be able to keep their lives. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Xia Ping didn't even look at them. He flicked his finger lightly, and immediately, more than 10 streams of qi condensed from flames shot out like lasers. They were extremely fast and covered an area. Ah! A few of the guards let out shrill cries. Their bodies were pierced and sent flying, exploding in midair and turning into a pile of shards. It's over. The man in the luxurious robe's face was pale. He could feel that he was about to die. He was hit by the flames, and with his body alone, there was no way he could block it. At that moment, there was a sudden roar. Boom! In an instant, an earth-shattering sound rang out in the air, like the roar of an ancient beast. Terrifying sound waves spread out, affecting the yuan qi of the heaven and earth within a radius of several dozen miles. Immediately, the fire qi that had blasted on the man in the luxurious robe was shaken into nothingness. The power even traveled through the air towards Xia Ping, causing the air to tremble thousands of times. Finally making a move? Xia Ping was not flustered. He had long sensed that there was a divine realm expert spying on him. He did not use his full strength because he was constantly on guard against the other party. However, just as he was about to kill the man in the luxurious robe, the expert finally could not hold back and chose to make a move. His figure flashed as he moved horizontally, plucking the peace bloom and putting it in his spatial ring to prevent it from being destroyed by the shockwaves. He instantly moved hundreds of meters away. The power of the sound waves pushed forward, hitting a small mountain behind Xia Ping. Immediately, the small mountain was flattened and shattered into countless shards. The trees on the mountain were also shaken into dust. The destructive power was shocking. In the next second, a goateed old man stepped out of the air and arrived beside the luxurious robe man. His clothes fluttered despite the absence of wind. His aura was solemn, as if his every move could draw in the power of the world. Elder Qi, why are you here? Seeing the goateed old man appear, the luxurious robe man was overjoyed. He did not expect to see an elder of the Hall of Souls here. It was too unexpected. Your father asked me to protect you in secret, but I cannot reveal my whereabouts. After all, this is a trial for you. The goateed old man stroked his beard and smiled. The goateed old man stroked his beard and said with a smile, however, since the fiends have appeared, This is no longer within the scope of training. Therefore, I have no choice but to take action. He stared at Xia Ping with an aloof expression. Elder of the Hall of Souls. Lu Rulan's expression changed. She knew that to become an Elder of the Hall of Souls, one had to be at least in the divinity realm. Even the Soul Hall Lord of Huining City was only at the early stage of the divinity realm. Now that an expert of this level had appeared, it seemed like they would not be able to escape this time. Yes. Elder Qi, this guy is an extraterrestrial fiend. He wanted to kill me just now. Kill him now. Kill him now. Kill this demon. The luxurious robed man shouted as if he had found a powerful backer. He was no longer panicking like before. He stared at Xia Ping with eyes filled with hatred. If not for Elder Qi, he would have been killed by this extraterrestrial fiend long ago. This was an irreconcilable feud. If he could capture this extraterrestrial fiend alive, he would definitely make this extraterrestrial fiend suffer a fate worse than death. Fiend. The old man with a goatee looked down from above. You still dare to enter the Blood Soul continent. You're quite courageous. Do you want to surrender and be imprisoned in the Soul Hall's prison, or do you want to resist and be killed by me personally? With your fulfillment realm strength, it's impossible for you to survive 3 attacks from me. You're out of luck to meet me in this place. You're out of luck. Chapter 1145. The goateed old man exuded a powerful aura that was as deep as the abyss. It was as though he wanted to crush Xia Ping's mental defenses with his words and subdue him without a fight. Even though he was extremely confident in his own strength, it was still a good thing to be able to finish off this extraterrestrial fiend without a fight. After all extraterrestrial fiends had strange methods. If they were to really fight to the death, who knew what would happen? Kneel. With Elder Qi backing him up, the man in luxurious robes became even more arrogant. Extraterrestrial fiend, kneel down and beg for mercy. Kowtow 800 times and repent for killing my underling. Otherwise, once Elder Qi strikes, you'll die without a burial ground. By then, you won't even be able to die even if you wanted to. Do you understand? His expression was menacing. He had already thought of all sorts of cruel methods to torture Xia Ping to vent his hatred. Old man, you want to save him? What a joke. No one can save someone I want to kill. Since you want to die, I'll grant you your wish. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back with a calm gaze. Even if a God-state cultivator appeared here, he wouldn't be worried. It wasn't as though he hadn't killed one before. Stubborn. If that's the case, you can go die. The goateed old man's eyes flashed coldly. He could instinctively sense a dangerous aura coming from Xia Ping. Even though he didn't know what methods this extraterrestrial fiend had, he wouldn't foolishly wait for the other party to use them. He wanted to use the most ruthless and swift methods to kill this extraterrestrial fiend instantly. That way, even if he had a backup plan, he wouldn't be able to use it. Mental secret skill? Bad annihilation. At that moment, the goateed old man struck. He formed a seal with both hands and the power of his consciousness gathered rapidly. Opening his mouth, he let out a loud roar. However, this roar was silent and undetectable by human ears. This was because it was a sonic wave. This was a powerful skill that imitated the sound of bats. Once it was released, the sonic wave that contained the power of a consciousness attack would spread out for tens of miles. Any living being would be shattered by the sonic wave. As an early-stage divine tier cultivator, the goateed old man's strength was even more terrifying. He had already condensed a martial arts divine tier, and it only took him an instant to use this move. Its power had reached an unimaginable level. Rumble! Immediately, with his body as the center, circles of sound waves spread out and solidified. The ground was flattened by the power of the sound waves, and the gravel on the ground was shaken into powder. Countless cracks had also appeared under his feet, like a spider web, densely covering the surroundings. Popping sounds rang out, and the ground within a radius of tens of miles was trembling. It's over! Lu Rulan clenched her fists tightly, her body trembling slightly. This was the power of heaven and earth, like the murmur of an ancient god. Once hit, one would definitely turn into ashes. This was the terror of a cultivator in the divine realm. She was not afraid of death, but she was afraid that she would die silently without avenging her parents. This was something she could not accept. Die, fiend. The goateed old man raised his strength to the limit. In order to instantly slay this foreign fiend demon and prevent any undue troubles, even though he was a major realm lower than Xiaoping, he still used his full strength. Therefore, the destructive power was simply unimaginable. It was like a bat that was at the level of an ancient ferocious beast roaring. The sound waves spread out, and the power of the sound waves exploded completely. It was no less than a nuclear bomb. Moreover, the destructive power was even more shocking than a nuclear bomb. It penetrated the essence of an object, and once something was hit by the power of the sound waves, it would be completely destroyed within a breath's time, and its soul would be destroyed. Go. Xiaoping did not even look at it. With a thought, he immediately released the moon god from his space ring. The massive moon god appeared from thin air, crashing towards the goateed old man in midair. It was like a huge meteorite had appeared out of thin air, falling from outer space. This was a move that Xiaoping had thought about for a long time. He could use the space ring to launch many powerful attacks. If he released the items in the space ring in an instant, it could create an unexpected effect. If he were to throw the massive spaceship out, the effect would be no less than summoning a meteorite from outer space. What? As expected, the goateed old man was shocked, and he was a little dumbfounded. He had no idea what was going on. Why did such a massive object suddenly appear, almost covering the entire valley, as if it was shrouded by a shadow? Bang, bang, bang. The sound wave attack was blocked by the massive object without a doubt. Immediately, a loud sound rang out. However, the moon god's exterior was made of special materials and was incomparably hard. Even though the goateed old man's divine ability was extremely powerful, it could not damage the outer shell of the moon god's spaceship. It only caused a few banging sounds, and the spaceship remained undamaged. Damn it! The goateed old man's expression changed. He had not expected such an unforeseen event. If he were hit by the massive object, he would probably be smashed into meat paste. Let's go! He instinctively felt that this extraterrestrial demon was not to be trifled with. Even though there was a major realm difference between them, this extraterrestrial demon had too many tricks up its sleeves. He did not know what would happen in the next second. Therefore, he felt that staying here was not a good thing. As the saying goes, a gentleman does not stand under a collapsing wall. It was better to return to the Soul Palace headquarters and gather a large group of people to surround and annihilate the extraterrestrial demon. He single-handedly grabbed the man in the luxurious robe as if he was grabbing a chick. The goateed old man's figure flickered as he flew through the air, moving horizontally and dodging in an instant. Moreover, he did not stop and fled into the distance, with no intention of turning back. He's escaping? Lu Rulan's beautiful eyes widened. She had actually seen a divine realm cultivator fleeing. Moreover, he was an elder of the Soul Palace. He was facing a fulfillment realm extraterrestrial demon. This was too unbelievable. Since when was the elder of the Soul Palace so cowardly that he did not dare to fight an extraterrestrial demon to the death? Moon God, shoot him down. Xiaoping immediately contacted Moon God's AI and activated the ship's internal weapon system. The purple lightning cannon was fired. Immediately, a thick bolt of purple lightning shot out from Moon God. It locked onto the goateed old man's aura and blasted out like a god-slaying spear. Oh no! The goateed old man's expression changed. He felt great danger, but when he turned back, he immediately saw a bolt of purple lightning blasting towards him. It was extremely fast. The lightning spear instantly pierced through his body. Even the man in the luxurious robe in his hand was no exception. His entire body exploded from the lightning. No, no, no! The man in the luxurious robe screamed crazily in extreme fear. He was an important figure with a boundless future. How could he die in this nameless place? But no matter how he screamed, he was quickly turned into pieces under the attack of the purple lightning cannon. Along with the goateed old man, he disappeared from this world. Chapter 1146. They're all dead. Lu Rulan was dumbfounded. She thought that the extraterrestrial fiend was dead for sure once a divine realm cultivator appeared. As someone close to the extraterrestrial fiend, she wouldn't be able to escape either. Who would have thought that this guy would rise up and instantly kill the elder from the Hall of Souls, killing a divine realm cultivator? His achievements were shocking. The luxuriously robed man with a powerful background had also died tragically in the man's hands. None of them were spared. If the man was from the Blood Soul mainland, he might be worried that he had offended some big shot. However, the opponent was an extraterrestrial fiend. Why would he be afraid? If anything went wrong, he could escape immediately and leave the Blood Soul mainland. Who could do anything to him then? Perhaps this extraterrestrial fiend really has a chance to kill the Hall of Souls master of Huining City. Lu Rulan clenched her fists. She couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope for revenge. At that moment, Xia Ping put away the moon god ship. He couldn't reveal such a powerful weapon. This luxuriously robed man has soul stones? Xia Ping soon discovered that a bag dropped from the luxuriously robed man's body after he killed him. He grabbed it and opened it to find 4 to 5 soul stones. Apart from the luxuriously robed man, he also found 4 to 5 soul stones on the Hall of Souls elder. He held the soul stones in his hand and immediately felt his soul power grow a little. As expected of the legendary mystical stones. If I devour these soul stones and the peace bloom, it'll definitely benefit me greatly. I might even be able to reach the mid-stage fulfillment realm soon. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He didn't expect to complete the mission so quickly. If he left now, the mission would be considered completed without any effort. The problem was that he didn't come to the Blood Soul mainland just to obtain a soul stone. He wanted to obtain more benefits. By the way, Xia Ping, it's best not to consume the peace bloom now. At that moment, Corinne's voice was heard. Why? Xia Ping asked. Corinne said in a deep voice, this mystical flower is a very precious spiritual medicine even in the universe. It's no less than a sacred medicine, especially for cultivators who are about to advance to divine realm. If you consume the peace bloom flower when you are at the peak of the fulfillment realm, you will enter a state of enlightenment. That way, you will be able to form more martial arts and solidify your martial foundation. For divine tier cultivators, being able to comprehend more martial arts and mystiques would naturally make them stronger. It told Xia Ping that a normal divine tier cultivator could only form 1 martial arts divine tier ability, but a true monster could form 3, 5, or even more. The more god powers one mastered, the more powerful their combat power would be. It could be said that depending on the god powers they mastered, there was a huge gap between the god power realm cultivators. Of course, it didn't mean that the more mystical abilities one had, the better. It also depended on the quality of the martial path mystical abilities. If the quality wasn't good enough and it wasn't strong enough, learning more would be useless. It would only be considered as making up the numbers. Some martial artists who had only learned 1 ancient martial path divine ability were able to match 2 or 3 ordinary divine abilities of ordinary martial artists. Fiend. At that moment, Lu Rulan stepped forward and said, we can't stay here any longer. We have to escape. Xia Ping blinked his eyes, very puzzled. You're asking why? Do you know who the person you just killed was? Lu Rulan gritted her teeth and said, if I'm not wrong, that old man should be a renowned elder of the Soul Palace. His position is higher than the palace masters of the various palaces. There's only one person in the world who can command a Soul Palace elder, and that's the palace master of the Soul Palace, Chang Shishing. This luxuriously robed young man is probably Chang Shishing's son. Her expression was very serious. Only now did she realize the severity of this matter. However, it was too late to stop Xia Ping now. The person was already dead. There was no way to stop him even if she wanted to. Think about it carefully. Now that the Soul Palace Master's son, an elder, and many elites have died tragically in this place, Chang Shishing will probably be enraged. Lu Rulan gritted her teeth and said, once the Soul Palace Master is enraged, the world will be turned upside down. There's no place for us in the entire Blood Soul mainland. If Chang Shisheng finds out that we killed his son, the consequences will be unimaginable. She felt that following behind this fiend was her 8 lifetimes of bad luck. She had provoked such trouble for no reason. Once this crime was discovered, killing her entire family would be a light punishment. If they were caught, it would be hard for them to die even if they wanted to. In the Blood Soul mainland, the Soul Palace Master was a god. His orders could not be disobeyed unless they wanted to die. Of course, she knew that this conflict was unavoidable. The Soul Palace Master's son clearly wanted to kill them all and take the Peace God flower for himself. If the Soul Palace Master's son didn't die, they would be the ones dead. The Soul Palace Master's son? We caught a big fish this time. Xia Ping rubbed his chin and his eyes lit up. He did not expect things to be so coincidental. The person he killed was the Soul Palace Master's son. Big fish my ass. It was already a dead fish. Not even a hair was left. Lu Rulan spat at Xia Ping in her heart. She could sense that this fiend clearly wanted to see the world in chaos. Wait, what are you doing? Suddenly she found that Xia Ping had moved all the nearby corpses together and stacked them into a hill. Then he seemed to be writing a few big characters on a nearby rock. The murder, Master Mateto, specially came here as a souvenir. Are you crazy? Lu Rulan was dumbstruck. Not only did this fellow not escape after killing the Soul Palace Lord's son, but he was also afraid that others wouldn't know he did it. He even dared to leave his name here and point out that he did it. Was he trying to drive the Soul Palace Master crazy? If the Soul Palace Master saw this scene, the entire Blood Soul mainland would probably be shaken. Countless powerful enemies would come looking for trouble with this fiend. Being killed on the spot would be a good thing. The scariest thing would be being captured alive and not being able to control one's life. It's fine. I just want them to know about this. It'll be fun now. Xia Ping squinted his eyes. Fun my ass. Lu Rulan felt despair in her heart. Her face turned green and she regretted it too late. Back then, why did she foolishly follow this fiend and even wanted to use him? Now that this had happened, even if she successfully took revenge and killed the Soul Palace Master in Huining City, she would not have a place in the Blood Soul mainland in the future. She was afraid that she would not be able to establish herself in the Blood Soul mainland in the future. She would definitely become the most wanted criminal in the history of the Blood Soul mainland, and countless people would want her head. Chapter 1147. A few days later, at the spot where Xia Ping had first landed on the Blood Soul continent, a spaceship appeared in the sky. With a thud, it gently landed on the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust. But immediately, the hatch of the spaceship opened, and 7 figures walked out. All of them exuded a monstrous murderous aura. Blood filled the air, as if dyeing the sky red. These 7 people were the famous 7 Kills gang. In order to be fully prepared to kill Xia Ping, they had arrived at the Blood Soul continent a few days late. However, it would be impossible to complete the mission on the Blood Soul continent without a few months, so they were not worried that Xia Ping would complete the mission and leave now. We've finally arrived at the Blood Soul continent. Be careful. This place is the territory of the Soul race. They are all proficient in secret mind techniques and have strange methods. If you're not careful, you won't even know how you died. It's said that this is the burial ground of the universe's martial artists. Who knows how many people have died here? It's terrifying. But there's no need to worry. Lord Kuang too has given us some treasures that can resist mind attacks. I believe that the Soul race won't be able to hurt us no matter how powerful they are. As long as we can find Xia Ping and kill him, we'll complete the missions. Either he dies or we die. We have no other choice. A cold glint flashed in the eyes of the 7 Kills gang. They were under the restriction of St. Kuang Tuesday. If they did not complete the mission and could not kill Xia Ping, they would definitely be killed by the furious St. Kuang Tuesday. Therefore, they were destined to fight to the death with Xia Ping. Don't worry. According to the intelligence, that kid is only a fulfillment realm cultivator. Even if he's a disciple of a saint, he can't be more powerful than us divine realm cultivators. Moreover, the enemy is in the open while we're in the dark. We have the absolute advantage. As long as we catch him off guard, we can assassinate him successfully. Then we can retreat successfully. The one who spoke was the leader of the 7 Kills gang, Fong Di. He was an expert in puppetry. One person was equivalent to an army. What he often did was control the puppets to carry out suicidal attacks. When they got close to the target, they would explode on the spot. No matter how many bodyguards the target had, they would still be killed by the explosion. However, because his assassination had caused too much of a commotion and caused countless civilian deaths, he had become the most wanted criminal in the 7 Kills gang with the highest bounty. Big Brother is right. That brat is nothing to worry about. As long as we find him, he will definitely die. Now, our goal is to find his whereabouts, capture and kill him. It's that simple. The one who spoke was the 7th brother, Kong Nua. His appearance was neither male nor female, it was either yin or yang, like a transvestite. His voice was also a little eccentric, making one's hair stand on end. He was an expert in the art of disguise. It was said that he had 1,000 faces on his body. Whenever he sneaked into a crowd, no police would be able to track him. According to our intelligence, this should be the place where Xia Ping first landed. However, so much time had passed, and no one knew where he had gone. "All right, second brother, can you track down that kid's whereabouts?" Fong Chung looked at his second brother. The second brother's name was Mao Bu, and he was an expert in tracking. He had mastered a martial arts mystical ability called wind-chasing nose, which could sniff out targets from thousands of miles away and distinguish thousands of different scents. He was even more sensitive than a dog's nose. Those who were tracked by him, no matter where they fled to, would not be able to escape from his grasp. "Don't worry, this is just child's play." Mao Bu laughed sinisterly. "I can smell the scent on that brat's body. A few days ago, he stopped at this place. Other than that, there also seems to be the scent of different people. They are probably all from the Soul Clan." Both sides had a very intense conflict, but they were all killed by this brat. "All right, there seems to be a very fragrant scent in the air. It was left behind by a very beautiful young woman. She seems to be working with that kid. She's quite lucky with women." With a light sniff, he seemed to know what had happened in this place a few days ago. "Fuck, is that kid here to complete a mission or to pick up girls? He just landed on the Blood Soul continent and he's already picked up a beauty from the Soul tribe. It looks like he's a hero saving the damsel in distress. What's so great about being a disciple of a saint? Can he be so impudent and flirt everywhere?" These disciples of big sects are all like that. They rely on their good looks and money to get into trouble everywhere they go. After picking up all the beauties, they run away after getting pregnant. They have no sense of responsibility at all. That's why they deserve to die. All handsome men have to die. The 7 Kill gang and the others gritted their teeth in hatred. One had to know that those who came to the Blood Soul continent were prepared to die because the death rate was more than 99%. Which one of them did not land on the Blood Soul continent in fear and trepidation, afraid that they would be surrounded and attacked by the natives? But this kid had just landed on the Blood Soul continent not long ago, and he was already trying to be a hero saving the damsel in distress. He even hooked up with a beauty from the Soul tribe. Was there any justice in this world? To be honest, 2 or 3 of them had suffered some trauma in their hearts. There was once a wife who ran away with a pretty boy from a big sect. She left a note saying that she was going to pursue her true love. Love yours? Didn't she just look down on him for being poor, old, and ugly? It was because they had encountered such a thing before that their minds were all twisted. They wanted nothing more than to catch up with Xia Ping and kill him for the sake of the people. All beautiful women deserve to die. They need to be poisoned to death. The one who spoke was the 3rd sister, Yun Xiang. Her tone was strange and sinister. She looked very old, like a witch, and her skin was like the bark of a 100-year-old tree. She looked very old, like she was in her 70s or 80s. In fact, she was only 30. But because she had been cultivating poison all year round, the poison had attacked her heart, causing her appearance to change greatly. That was why she looked like an old woman. But because of this, she especially hated those young and beautiful women. Once she saw them, She wanted to splash acid on them and disfigure them, making them follow in her footsteps. Moreover, destroying the faces of those beautiful women gave her a strange kind of pleasure. Second brother, where is that kid? The eldest brother, Fong Chen, looked at his second brother, Mao Bu, with a fierce look in his eyes. Big brother, he should be in the east. Although we don't know how far he has gone, he must have left many traces along the way. He won't be able to escape. Mao Bu laughed cruelly. He had not only learned the wind-chasing nose martial arts, but he had also been trained in the army and was proficient in all kinds of tracking techniques. The people of the Jianghu called him a hound. Once he targeted someone, there was absolutely no chance of escape other than death. Good, let's go and catch up with that kid. Fong Chen ordered. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Chapter 1148. At the same time, where the luxurious robed man and the others died, several hundred black-clothed people appeared. They completely sealed off the valley, and all of them emitted powerful auras. They were all at least at the fulfillment realm. There were even dozens of divine ability realm cultivators. This force was enormous, and could be said to be Soul Palace's true elites. Among this group of people was a 2-meter-tall middle-aged man. He had a square face, and his body was fat like a ball, seeming to weigh at least a ton. He had a superior aura on him, as if he was used to being high up. The surrounding black-clothed people all surrounded him like loyal subordinates. None of them dared to even breathe loudly, afraid of angering the middle-aged man in front of them. This middle-aged man was none other than Soul Palace's Palace Master Chang Shishing, a peak divine ability realm cultivator. His face was extremely gloomy and dark. He stared at the corpse on the ground, as well as the words written on a huge rock. Killer Wu Taidu, what a good Wu Taidu. My son was killed by him. Chang Shishing's face was full of dark clouds, and he let out an angry roar. A terrifying mental storm immediately exploded from his body, sweeping in all directions. The surrounding black-clothed people all retreated, their lungs heavily injured, and a sliver of blood seeped out of their mouths. In fact, with his body as the center, the entire ground was shaken into a crater that was several kilometers deep. Countless cracks appeared, and with a cracking sound, the cracks extended more than 10 kilometers away. All the savage beasts in the surrounding 10 kilometers all fled in fright, marking this place as a temporary forbidden ground. He clenched his fists, his heart filled with anger. Because he couldn't contact his son a few days ago, and couldn't even contact a Soul Palace elder, he immediately had a bad premonition. Thus, he sent his subordinates to track his son. He never expected that they would find his son, Soul Palace elder, and many Soul Palace elites' corpses in this forest valley. All of them were incomplete and couldn't be more dead. Seeing his son's corpse, he almost fainted. Though this wasn't his only son, he was one of the most talented, and received a lot of love from him, even being raised as his successor. Even when he went out to train, he would send a divine tier elder to protect him in the dark, afraid that something might happen. Who would have thought that even with such defensive conditions, his son would still die? He was killed on the spot, and his corpse could not be preserved in a perfect state. One could imagine how angry Chang Shishing was right now. If Master Mateto appeared in front of him, he would definitely dismember this guy's body, capture his soul, and torture him day and night. Lord Hall Master. One of his men stepped forward and said, I'm afraid that Master Mateto isn't a member of our soul race, but an extraterrestrial demon. Look at the traces of battle here. There are traces of flames that haven't been extinguished for a long time. The rocks turned into magma as if a volcano erupted. Without a doubt, the one who killed the young master is an expert who has grasped the flame divine ability. However, our soul race doesn't have this kind of power, so the murderer must be an extraterrestrial fiend. He was certain that the murderer was not a soul race clansman. One had to know that the luxuriously robed man's status was extremely noble. He was the son of the Soul Palace's Palace Master. He was below one and above tens of thousands of people. If it was a soul race divine ability realm expert, it was impossible for them to attack the young master. Only those daring and unscrupulous extraterrestrial fiends would dare to do such a thing. The other Soul Palace elites also nodded, agreeing with this point. Because, according to the battlefield's environment, there was a terrifying heat that hadn't dissipated even after a few days. Other than the extraterrestrial fiends, there was no one else who could grasp this kind of divine ability power. Extraterrestrial fiend, this extraterrestrial fiend sure has guts. Chang Shishing was furious. He killed my son and still dares to leave his name here. Is he afraid that I don't know that he's the real murderer? Simply arrogant to the extreme. He was so mad that his face turned red. He had never seen such an arrogant murderer in his life. In the Blood Soul continent, he was the sky, the god. When had he ever seen anyone who dared to disobey his orders? Everyone was respectful and fearful, afraid that they would anger him and bring disaster upon themselves. Not to mention that someone had killed his son and dared to reveal his identity, carving such words on a nearby rock as if afraid that he wouldn't know. Just how much did this extraterrestrial fiend want to look down on him? His eyes were spitting out flames of anger. Lord Palace Master, this extraterrestrial fiend is indeed arrogant. He even dares to leave his name here. This is clearly a provocation. He's clearly coming for our soul palace. Could it be that these extraterrestrial fiends want to start a war with our soul clan again? Damn extraterrestrial fiend, this matter can't end like this. We must make Master Mateto pay the price. Even the elders died in his hands. This hatred is absolutely irreconcilable. Many Soul Palace elders were gnashing their teeth. They were also thoroughly angered by this matter. If they didn't kill this arrogant Master Mateto, what prestige would Soul Palace have in the future? Pass on my order. Chang Shishing roared like thunder. Immediately inform everyone in the Blood Soul continent that this extraterrestrial fiend Master Mateto is listed as the most wanted criminal in the Blood Soul continent. Kill him without mercy. If anyone can kill this Master Mateto, they will immediately get a generous reward. They will be promoted to nobility. He wanted Master Mateto to be wanted in the entire continent and proposed a shocking reward. Even if this extraterrestrial fiend was very good at hiding, under the power of Soul Palace, he couldn't hide. As long as this extraterrestrial fiend dared to show his head and reveal his identity, he would definitely die in the encirclement of countless experts in the Blood Soul continent. He would be beaten to death with sticks. There was absolutely no reason for him to survive. As the Soul Palace's palace master, it could be said that he almost controlled the entire Blood Soul continent's power and military power. With a single order, hundreds of millions of troops would be mobilized and the entire continent would boil. Once this Master Mateto showed his head in the Blood Soul continent, he would definitely die. Yes, Palace Master. We must kill Master Mateto. For Palace Master's work, we will definitely sacrifice our lives. Many Soul Palace elders roared. They felt the same way and expressed that they would definitely catch this arrogant Master Mateto to avenge the Palace Master's son. Let alone the fact that the extraterrestrial fiend Master Mateto was a murderer that everyone should kill, just the fact that he killed so many elites of the Soul Clan was already a capital crime. This debt of blood must be paid with blood. Immediately, countless cities in the Blood Soul continent received the news of the extraterrestrial fiend Master Mateto being wanted. Many experts also knew this earth-shattering information. Chapter 1149. I actually met other people who came to the Blood Soul continent? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He did not expect such a coincidence. There were relatively few people who entered the Blood Soul continent for missions. After all, the death rate had scared many people. Moreover, the Blood Soul continent was so huge that it was scattered all over the place. It was very difficult to meet each other even if one wanted to. Usually, one would not meet other people when carrying out missions. However, he did not expect to meet 3 or 4 universal martial artists in this place so coincidentally. Those few people obviously saw the appearance of Xia Ping and Lu Rulan and were instantly overjoyed. They thought that reinforcements had arrived. However, after taking a closer look, Xia Ping and Lu Rulan only had fulfillment realm cultivation, just like them. Such strength, in the face of 20 black-toothed wolves, was just a drop in the bucket. It was useless. Roar. At this moment, the black-toothed wolves behind them roared angrily. They thought that these damned humans had come to rescue them again. Their eyes were bloodshot and cruel. They were excited because they thought that they had more food. Their speed of pursuit was even more shocking. They set off a monstrous gale and the wind pressure was shocking. The trees around them were crushed into pieces. Kill them. Xia Ping did not take action. Instead, he ordered Lu Rulan. There was no need for him to take action against such ferocious beasts. Lu Rulan stood out. She formed a seal with her hands and immediately used the Soul Clan's secret mental technique, Soul Shock skill. Boom. Suddenly, a terrifying mental shock exploded from her body. It was as if it had caused a resonance between heaven and earth and bombarded the group of black-toothed wolves. The black-toothed wolves immediately let out shrill cries. They felt as if their heads had been hit by a heavy hammer. Even their souls were trembling. After a few bangs, they could not withstand such a shock at all. Their internal organs were severely damaged, and even their brains were severely damaged. After a few breaths, the black-toothed wolves fell to the ground, spat out a mouthful of blood, and died suddenly. More than 20 black-toothed wolves were killed just like that. So powerful. The few young men were dumbfounded and could not believe their eyes. They were all cultivators of the same realm, but the black-toothed wolves chased them like stray dogs. However, they were extremely fragile in front of this woman. She killed all the black-toothed wolves with just one blow. I've become stronger. Lu Rulan was satisfied with the effect that she had created. If she had not met Xia Ping, she would not have been able to deal with more than 20 black-toothed wolves. But after traveling with Xia Ping, she had been constantly eating vicious beast meat, strengthening her physique. Her body was several times stronger than before, and she could also withstand more soul force. She even felt a very strange thing. While she was by Xia Ping's side, she felt an inexplicable and great power from this strange fellow. This also caused her soul power to grow much faster than before. It was as if she was bathing in the light of a divine tree, causing her heavenly soul body to evolve. However, it was not convenient for her to say this out loud. She could only feel puzzled. She did not know what secrets this fiend had. Why would she have such a strange reaction when she was by his side? Not good. This woman seems to be a native of the Blood Soul continent. However, those people reacted quickly. They realized that they had just escaped from the wolf's den and had entered the tiger's den. One must know that the indigenous people of the Blood Soul continent had a strong hostility towards the warriors of the universe. Once they were discovered, it would definitely be a fight to the death. Now that this woman was so terrifying that she could kill more than 20 black-toothed wolves with a single blow, it would not be difficult for her to kill the few of them. Immediately, the few of them wanted to escape. Brother, don't be afraid. I'm not from the Soul Clan. You must have also entered the Blood Soul continent to complete a mission, right? Xia Ping said, revealing his identity. He was not a native of the Blood Soul continent. At the same time, he waved his hand gently, and a ball of flame appeared in his palm. What? Hearing this, the three of them were immediately delighted. Since he could control the power of flames, he was definitely not a native of the Blood Soul continent. He was definitely a warrior from the outer domain like them. After all, the people of the Soul Clan were only good at secret mind skills. They had not dabbled in other powers. Yes, we are disciples from the Lingyun sect. This time, we are here to complete a mission in the Blood Soul continent. A young man in a gray robe said, "My name is Chang Xian. These three are from the same sect as me. They are Wang Chen, Wei Qi, and Jin Zhe. Thank you for your help this time. By the way, what is your name, brother?" They all looked at Xia Ping. "My name is Master Potato. I am a rogue cultivator." Xia Ping blinked his eyes. Although the Blood Soul continent was controlled by many sects, occasionally there were rogue cultivators who came to perform tasks. Of course, if you want to enter the Blood Soul continent as a rogue cultivator, you will also have to pay a great price. However, this situation was not uncommon. Master Potato. Hearing this, Chang Xian and the others suddenly became a little strange. They looked up and down at Xia Ping. "What's wrong? What's the problem?" Xia Ping asked curiously. Chang Xian coughed. "Brother Potato, I'm really sorry. Because of your name, we thought of a big event that happened in the 5 major star areas under the jurisdiction of our Lingyun sect. A big event? What's the big event? Xia Ping showed a confused look. It's like this. Recently, a super liar appeared in the 5 major star areas of our Lingyun sect. He is called the Invincible Swindler. Yes, this liar is shameless. He is quite shameless. His skin is thicker than a chopping board. He likes to deceive noble children and cheated them of tens of millions of universe dollars. What's even more hateful is that recently, this bastard has become worse. A few months ago, he appeared in the virtual city and set up a shocking scam. He cheated more than $1 billion universe dollars, and the number of victims reached millions. This matter became the headlines that day. Who knows how many people want to find him for revenge, but now he doesn't dare to show up. He has been missing for a long time. Yes, I have a relative who was cheated of hundreds of thousands of universe dollars by this bastard. He bought a lot of fake shoes and now he can only eat instant noodles every day. He hates that invincible swindler. Every day, he pokes little people to curse him. Chang Xian and the others chattered. When they talked about invincible swindler, they hated him to the core. Cheated more than $1 billion universe dollars? That's amazing. It's really a big swindler. Xia Ping nodded and felt the same. Such a swindler should be punished by everyone. Isn't that so? So when we heard your name, brother, it was a little similar to that swindler. We thought you were his brother, and it almost scared us. But thinking about it carefully, there's no such coincidence. I almost misunderstood you just now. I'm really sorry. Chang Xian laughed. Chapter 1150. However, Brother Wu, don't blame me for talking too much. Chang Xian's eyes flickered as he stared at Lu Rulan, who was next to Xia Ping. If I'm not wrong, this lady isn't from our universe. She's from the Soul Clan. The other 3 looked at Lu Rulan too. Humph. Lu Rulan was unhappy with their gazes. She snorted coldly but didn't say anything. That's right. She's not a martial artist from the universe but a lady from the Soul Clan. Xia Ping admitted generously. When I landed earlier, I subdued her. She's my slave now. Don't worry. She can't do anything now. Slave? Chang Xian and the rest were instantly envious. They could tell that Lu Rulan was of the highest quality. If she wasn't born in the Blood Soul mainland but in the universe, she would probably be a saintess of a large sect. She had a noble and holy aura, a tall and sexy body, and a perfect face. She was of the highest quality. She was the goddess that many men dreamed of. However, she had become this brat's slave. One could imagine what this brat did to her every night. He was probably exhausted. Brother Wu, this lady from the Soul Clan doesn't look simple. How did you subdue her? Wang Chen asked curiously. They didn't dare to underestimate Lu Rulan after the previous scene. She killed more than 20 black-tooth wolves in one move. Her strength was extremely terrifying. Even if they fought together, they wouldn't be a match for this lady from the Soul Clan. If they couldn't control her, she wouldn't be a goddess but a she-devil. They would be afraid that this lady would chop off their heads when they slept. They wouldn't be able to sleep well. There's no secret. It's just that we fall in love over time. Xia Ping said casually and shared his experience. Hi. Brother, you're amazing. There's a double meaning in your words. Wang Chen and the rest gave him a thumbs up. They were impressed and jealous. As expected, this brat had already fucked such a beauty from the Soul Clan. They didn't know how many positions this bastard made this beauty perform at night. They were far behind compared to him. They had to stay in the forest and be chased by beasts while this brat had a beauty as his companion. His days were so comfortable. But to be honest, I don't like such a lady. The highest quality in this world isn't a lady but a boy. Xia Ping revealed an unfathomable look. How so? Wang Chen and the rest asked curiously. Think about it. Young mistress is an experienced woman. When you pat her butt, she knows to change positions. When you lie down, she knows to sit down. When you stand up, she knows to kneel down. When you kneel down, she knows to pout. Xia Ping shook his head. But young girls, if you pat her butt, she'll turn around and yell, "Are you crazy? Why did you hit me for no reason?" This is the difference between a young girl and a young man. It's still a long way off. He lamented for a long time. Brother, you're the real expert. You have penetrating insight. Just how many women did he fuck to have such knowledge? We're all convinced. Please allow us to respectfully call you Big Brother. Chang Xian and others were full of admiration. They didn't know how many women the Master Mutato brothers had had to have such knowledge. For rookies like them, they really didn't know how far the naked man was from them. This was the difference in life experience. They couldn't be compared. Beast, pervert. Hearing this, Lu Rulan blushed and spat at Xia Ping in her heart. As expected of an extraterrestrial fiend, he couldn't get away from that kind of thing. He only thought about such shameless things all day. If this bastard man's head was split open, it was guaranteed that the word woman would be all over it. A beast that only thought with the lower half of his body. Why didn't such an evil creature get struck by lightning a few times? You're too polite. It's just some insignificant knowledge. It's not worth mentioning. Xia Ping waved his hand. Big Brother Mutato, since everyone is so congenial, then we don't want to hide anything. Chang Xian said in a deep voice. Actually, we came to this place with a purpose. Purpose? What purpose? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. Chang Xian said, previously, we received news that a soul stone mine appeared nearby. However, it's heavily guarded by the Soul Hall. If it's just one person, it's impossible to break through. However, if our universe's warriors unite and gather helpers, then we'll have a chance to break through this soul stone mine, kill these Soul Clan natives, and snatch the soul stones. That way, we'll be able to complete the mission, obtain the soul stones, and leave this godforsaken place. He stated the purpose of his group's visit. What? Xia Ping was shocked. He initially thought that he and Lu Rulan were the only ones who knew about the soul stone mine. He didn't expect the news to be so widespread. It was strange that Chang Xian and the rest knew about it too. Lu Rulan was dumbfounded too. She didn't know what was going on either. The soul stone mine was supposed to be an extremely confidential matter. However, why did the extraterrestrial fiends know about it now? She was in a state of confusion and had no idea what was going on. Could it be that Huining City's Soul Hall Master accidentally leaked the news to the extraterrestrial fiends? At that moment, she felt very complicated. How did you receive the news? Xia Ping asked. A senior from the Guiyuan sect told us. Chang Xian said honestly, we accidentally bumped into each other. In the end, the senior from the Guiyuan sect wanted to gather many experts to plan something big. He wants to destroy the soul stone mine and snatch the soul stones. In reality, the senior has already gathered the Soaring Cloud sect, 5 Elemental sect, Flying Celestial sect, Guiyuan sect, and the other sections. They've gathered together. There are 100 of them, and they're waiting for the day to attack the soul stone mine. This time, we're planning to head to that location and meet up with our seniors and juniors. Xia Ping knew that the Soaring Cloud sect, 5 Elemental sect, Flying Celestial sect, and Guiyuan sect were the few sage sects in the nearby universe. Both parties were equally powerful. Furthermore, dangerous missions such as the Blood Soul Continent were usually completed in groups. It was rare for a person to fight alone like Lin Huang. If the seniors and juniors helped and supported each other, the success rate of the mission would be much higher. At the same time, they carried communication devices with them. Even if they were far away, they could still contact each other without worrying about losing each other's traces. Oh yes, Brother Wu. What do you think? Are you willing to join our plan to attack the Soul Stone Mine? Chang Xian and the rest looked at Xia Ping in anticipation. Xia Ping thought for a while and said, no problem. With everyone's help, I believe the danger of completing the mission will be greatly reduced. There's no reason not to participate in such a good thing. That's great. With Brother Wu joining us, our power will definitely increase greatly. Chang Xian and the rest were delighted. They would not underestimate Xia Ping. To be able to tame such a powerful lady from the Soul Clan, one could imagine how powerful he was. Chapter 1151. Deep within the forest, in a remote campsite. Many tents had appeared in this place. They were all brought over by the universe's martial artists as a temporary place to camp. The largest tent was the size of a house, and many people were gathered there at the moment. At that moment, Chang Xian and the other Soaring Cloud sect disciples brought Xia Ping and Lu Rulan over. They had traveled a long distance and ran for a full 2 hours before arriving. This is where the extraterrestrial demons gather? Lu Rulan followed Xia Ping, feeling nervous. She had never been to such a terrifying place in her life. There were extraterrestrial demons everywhere, and it was basically a gathering place for demons. If there was even the slightest mistake, he would probably die and his Tao would disappear. Fortunately, Xia Ping was there to hold the fort. Otherwise, she would not have dared to come to such a terrifying place. Of course, without Xia Ping, she would not have known that such a gathering place existed. However, the atmosphere was heavy at the moment. Many of them were staring at Xia Ping and Lu Rulan with a mocking look on their faces. Chang Xian, what's the meaning of this? The one who spoke was a young man in a white robe. He said, "We noticed that you're disciples of the Soaring Cloud sect, so you're more or less capable. That's why we invited you to do this business. But you brought 2 strangers here. One of them is a powerless wandering cultivator, and the other is a native of the Blood Soul mainland. Are you fucking kidding me?" He was a disciple of the Returning Cloud sect. His name was Feng Zhe, and he was at the peak of the fulfillment realm. He spoke arrogantly. The others were disciples of the Soaring Cloud sect, the Returning Cloud sect, the Flying Celestial sect, and the 5 Elements sect. They were all from famous righteous sects, and they had powerful forces backing them up. Moreover, they were all powerful and confident in themselves to dare to participate in the Blood Soul mainland's mission. Feng Zhe, please believe me. Brother Wu is a wandering cultivator, but he's not weak. He'll be of great help to our mission, Chang Xian hurriedly explained. Benefits my ass. Feng just sneered. We're all disciples from famous righteous sections. He's the only wandering cultivator who can't even join a sect. What kind of strength does a piece of trash like him have? Truth be told, we have over 100 of us, all of whom are at least Fulfillment Realm and 7 or 8 early Divine Tier cultivators. Why don't you tell us how we'll benefit from this brat joining us? His attitude was very arrogant, and it was obvious that he had a great prejudice against Xia Ping, who was a wandering cultivator. His contempt was obvious. In the universe, the disparity between levels was even stricter. If one was a rogue cultivator, they would be seen as someone without any strength or background, and anyone could bully them. To put it in an exaggerated way, individual cultivators were basically jobless, equivalent to beggars without a university degree. They could only do some manual labor to support themselves. Apart from that, they had no other skills. As for those who came from a prestigious sect, they were equivalent to students who had graduated from a prestigious university. How could such people treat unemployed people differently? It's not beneficial to us, but it's beneficial to him. Originally, it would have been extremely difficult for him to complete the missions of the Blood Soul mainland by himself. However, after joining us, he'll be able to ride on our coattails and rise rapidly. He wants to cling to our thighs, but whether or not we let him is another matter. If he kneels down and kowtows, maybe I'll consider it. Many people sneered. They crossed their arms in front of their chests and looked at Xia Ping mockingly. Chang Xian and the others were very angry. They did not expect that they would be looked down upon and ridiculed by this group of people who had kindly brought an expert to join them. Chang Xian, for the sake of the Soaring Cloud sect, I can temporarily let go of this matter. However, it's a little too much for you to let a rogue cultivator join us and drag us down. This is not a game of house, but a battle of life and death. If we're not careful, we'll all die. That's right. Moreover, he has a native of the Blood Soul mainland with him. Although she's a slave, who knows if she'll leak the news to other natives of the Blood Soul mainland. Once the news gets out, we'll all be finished. A person who suddenly appeared out of nowhere is not trustworthy at all. Several people shouted, expressing that they did not accept Xia Ping joining them. To them, not only did this kid have no strength, but he also posed a great risk. No matter how they looked at it, They felt that Xia Ping joining them would not bring them any benefits. On the contrary, there were many disadvantages. Feng Zhe waved his hand as if he was shooing away a fly. Don't stay here. You're an eyesore. Being with someone like you is simply polluting the air here. Brother Wu. Chang Xian and the others looked at Xia Ping apologetically. They had initially wanted to bring Xia Ping into the team out of goodwill, but they did not expect something like this to happen and Xia Ping to be humiliated. It's all right. Since you don't want me to join, I won't join you. It's no big deal. Xia Ping looked indifferent. He was not affected at all. True strength came from himself. The contempt of others could not hurt him at all. To him, meeting this team was just an accident. Since they did not want him to join and their attitude was very unfriendly, there was no need for him to stay in this place. He turned to leave with Lu Rulan as he thought about this. You can leave, but the woman beside you has to stay, Feng Zhe suddenly said. He looked at Lu Rulan maliciously with a greedy look in his eyes. The few young men around him snickered. What? Chang Xian and the others were shocked as they looked at Feng Zhe in disbelief. They knew what Feng Zhe was planning right away. He obviously had his eyes on the woman beside Xia Ping and wanted to snatch her. Lu Rulan's heart skipped a beat. She had been on high alert just now. She did not expect an accident to happen after hearing that she could leave. She was stopped on the spot. With so many extraterritorial demons present, it would be difficult for her to escape even if she wanted to. What do you mean? Xia Ping stopped in his tracks and turned to look at Feng Zhe. He squinted his eyes and revealed a dangerous aura. I mean exactly what I said. This woman is a native of the Blood Soul mainland and is also our enemy. Who knows if she'll leak the news to other natives? Feng Zhe said matter-of-factly, therefore, to prevent the news from leaking and any accidents, she has to stay here. She can only be returned to you after this mission is over. The others were watching the show. They knew what would happen if Lu Rulan was really left here for a night. Chapter 1152. Feng Zhe, you've crossed the line. Chang Xian stood up angrily. He had brought Xia Ping and Lu Rulan to this place, only for them to encounter such a thing. He felt that he had a duty to stop this from happening. Bang! As soon as he finished speaking, Feng Zhe struck like a gust of wind, landing a punch on Chang Xian's abdomen. Chang Xian did not expect Feng Zhe to strike, so he was caught off guard. As a result, Feng Zhe's attack landed on him. A strong force exploded in his body, causing him to scream in pain. In the next second, he fell to the ground. His body curled up like a cooked prawn. Every nerve in his body was hurting, and blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. Bastard! Wang Chen, Wei Qi, and Jin Zhe were both shocked and enraged. Just as they were about to attack, a dozen or so people stepped forward, all of whom were on Feng Zhe's side, glaring at them like tigers watching their prey. Immediately, they did not dare to make a move. If they did, they would definitely be surrounded by this group of people. Moreover, this was the Blood Soul mainland. If they died here, even the sects would not be able to find the murderer, and no one would avenge them. After all, there were too many sects disciples who had died in the Blood Soul mainland. What a noisy guy! You want to stand up for that lone cultivator? Why don't you look at yourself first? Feng Zhe smirked. Without the support of the Lingyun sect, you're just a piece of trash. Get out of here. If you make me angry, I'll kill you later. Chang Xian was furious. His face was red, but there was nothing he could do. Feng Zhe had a lot of people here. Even if he wanted to fight back, there was nothing he could do. He could only glare at Feng Zhe. What are you looking at? How dare you look at me? You're not happy? You don't know what's good for you. Feng Zhe's eyes flashed with coldness. His murderous intent rose. Immediately, he raised his leg and channeled his mana. Like a wild elephant stomping on the ground, he stomped towards Chang Xian. Oh no! Wang Chen and the others' expressions changed. They could feel that Feng Zhe was serious. His attack was filled with murderous intent. If they were stepped on, even if they did not die, they would be severely injured on the spot. But now, even if they wanted to go and rescue, it was too late. There was no time to stop them. Chang Xian's face was ashen. He wanted to dodge, but the punch just now had left him powerless. He couldn't move his body for a short period of time, so it was impossible for him to dodge. Just at that moment, a figure flashed past like lightning, arriving before Fengzhi. Gently lifting his leg, the figure collided with Fengzhi's leg. The two forces collided intensely. Immediately, a terrifying gust of wind appeared in the surroundings, condensing into a solid substance. It swept in all directions like the waves of the sea, raising gusts of wind and rolling sand. The surrounding people all felt the terror of this strong wind and seemed to be unable to stand steadily. "Master Mateto!" Someone cried out in alarm. He had seen the true face of this figure. It was the rogue cultivator Martial Tycoon from before. He had chosen to take action at the crucial moment to block in front of Fengzhi. It was this kick that stopped Fengzhi's actions. Otherwise, Chang Xian would have been severely injured. Many people were shocked. They didn't expect that this kid would dare to stop them. "Master Mateto, what do you want to do? Why do you want to stop me? I just want to cripple him with one kick." Fengzhi's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He stared at Xia Ping and exuded a terrible murderous aura. "This is impossible. He is my friend. With me here, you can't cripple him." Xia Ping looked at Fengzhi indifferently. "Interesting. Then I will cripple you first." Fengzhi shouted. Unique skill, soul-breaking kick. In an instant, Fengzhi retracted his right foot and then suddenly lifted it up. All the spiritual power in his body gathered on his right foot. Then it exploded in an instant, producing an extremely terrifying force. Indistinctly, there was the sound of ghosts wailing and wolves howling in the surrounding void, as if countless ghosts were roaring. This was one of the king-level peerless rank unique skills of the Guiyuan sect. With one kick, it had an unpredictable power. Even a big mountain could be kicked in half. It could be said that the power of this kick had almost fully exerted the power of Fengzhi's body. It was not comparable to the kick just now. This was the peak of the fulfillment realm. It had the power to topple mountains and overturn seas. So strong, Chang Xian and the others were shocked. Although Fengzhi's attitude was arrogant, extremely arrogant, and ruthless, it was undeniable that Fengzhi's strength was definitely stronger among the Fulfillment Realm cultivators. Among the many Fulfillment Realm cultivators, there were only a few who could defeat Fengzhi. They did not have any confidence to defeat Fengzhi. "This kid is dead for sure. He actually dared to stop Brother Feng. He is simply courting death." The surrounding people were sneering as if they were watching a show. They seemed to have seen the end of this Master Mateto. They estimated that with just one kick, that kid would be crippled directly. However, who asked him to dare to stand up for others without any ability? Wasn't this seeking his own death? In the face of such a terrifying kick, Xia Ping still did not move. He just stood quietly in the same place with incomparably calm eyes. This kick landed on Xia Ping's body fiercely. The power of the soul-breaking kick exploded completely. "What?" Fengzhi originally wanted to show a ferocious expression, thinking that this damn rogue cultivator would be kicked to death by him. However, when this kick landed on Xia Ping's body, his expression changed greatly. Because he felt that layers of chi cover appeared on this kid's body. When the tyrannical force bombarded on the surface, it was like hitting on cotton and was weakened layer by layer. In the end, his force became invisible. This feeling was extremely uncomfortable. It seemed that whatever he did was useless and could not hurt this kid at all. "Oh no!" Fengzhi's expression changed greatly because he felt that Xia Ping's fist moved. Although it was launched later, it arrived first. A whirlpool-like magic power gathered in his right fist. The air vibrated as if it had the power to shake mountains. Every cell in his body was trembling. The aura of death spread throughout his body. Every nerve was tingling. A desperate danger seemed to surround his body. The fist hit Fengzhi's body. The chi cover on his body was instantly torn apart like a piece of paper. The spiral fist force penetrated into his body and seeped into his internal organs. Fengzhi let out a shrill scream. His body was bent and he was hit out like a ball. With a bang, his whole body was hit into the ground. In an instant, a deep pit with a diameter of several kilometers appeared in the ground. The surrounding tents were shaken into powder by the powerful force. Those who were watching the show were scared half to death. They retreated one after another to avoid the aftermath of this punch. Trees were uprooted by the strong wind. They flew into the air and then were smashed by the strong wind. Puff! Chapter 1153. Brother Feng. Seeing that Feng Zhe had been punched to the ground and it was unknown whether he was dead or alive, the two Gui Yuan sect disciples were shocked. They looked at Xia Ping with killing intent in their eyes. How dare you hurt Brother Feng? Go to hell. Why are you talking nonsense with him? Kill him immediately. The two looked at each other and instantly attacked, one from the left and one from the right, as fast as lightning. Get lost. Xia Ping didn't even look at them. He raised his hand and punched, black vortex ripple fist. Immediately, the air in the air rippled like a ripple, passing layer by layer. The power stacked layer by layer and kept increasing. The two's eyes showed fear. They found that their fist force seemed to be swallowed by this whirlpool, leaving nothing behind. Even their bodies were controlled. In the next second, the fist force penetrated and their bodies were immediately sent flying. It was as if they were struck by lightning. The terrifying ripple power directly injured their internal organs. With a bang, they smashed into the ground like soccer balls, sliding across the ground for 2 to 3 kilometers before finally being blasted into a small hill. A human-shaped hole was formed from the impact, and rubble flew in all directions. The two also foamed at the mouth and immediately fainted. They no longer had the strength to fight. Oh my God, the 3 disciples of Gui Yuan's sect were beaten. Are you kidding? Who is the disciple of a big sect? How can this Master Mutato be so powerful? Yeah, isn't he a wandering cultivator? And he is only at the early stage of the fulfillment realm. He can't be Feng Zhe's opponent, but now he has become like this? Is this Feng Zhe a fake? He is actually not that powerful. Bullshit, don't you know whether Feng Zhe is powerful or not? There is no doubt about his strength. But if this is the case, then what is Master Mutato who defeated Feng Zhe? Everyone was shocked and dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they saw. The disciple of a big sect, Feng Zhe, was actually beaten by this wandering cultivator who they looked down on. Even the 2 disciples of Gui Yuan's sect tried to sneak attack together, but they were beaten by one punch and had no strength to fight back. This combat power was simply beyond their imagination. Since when did loose cultivators become so powerful? Previously, they despised this kid, thinking that he was just a waste who hugged their thighs. If Master Mutato, who defeated Feng Zhe, was a waste, then they, who were inferior to Feng Zhe, were even worse than waste. Big Brother Wu is really amazing. Wang Chen and the others were extremely excited. They already knew that Xia Ping was an unfathomable martial artist, but before they saw him, they couldn't be sure how powerful Xia Ping was. When they saw Xia Ping's true strength, they were all stunned like everyone else. They were all fulfillment realm cultivators, but Xia Ping was much stronger than them. He didn't seem to be from the same dimension as them. Lu Rulan's expression was very calm because she had been with Xia Ping for more than a month. She knew very well how abnormal this man was. Even at her peak, she was no match for this man. However, she sighed inwardly. Looks like there's a huge gap between the fiend devils as well. Not every single one of them was as strong as this idiot. There's a difference in their levels as well. But Xia Ping stepped forward and looked at Feng Zhe condescendingly, just like that. Damn bastard, how dare you beat me up like this? Feng Zhe struggled and stared at Xia Ping with hatred like a wounded beast. Just you wait. Offending the Gui Yuan sect won't end well for you. I'll kill you later. I'll kill you. He roared crazily. He was beaten by Xia Ping with one punch and in front of so many people. This made him lose all his face, and he was greatly humiliated. Such a humiliation could only be washed away with blood. I guess you won't see that day because you have to die now. Xia Ping's tone was very indifferent and calm, but it was so calm that it made the people around feel scared. Especially Feng Zhe, he felt cold all over his body, as if the temperature had dropped to -30 degrees. Even the water vapor in the air was about to be frozen. He knew that this kid wasn't joking. He really wanted to kill him. At this time, he was finally afraid. His whole body was trembling and he shouted, "Senior brother Fan, quick, come and save me. Someone wants to kill me. He wants to kill your junior brother." He shouted for help, and his voice traveled for miles. "Want to ask for help? No one can save you." Xia Ping said lightly. Feng Zhi shouted, "Master Potato, are you crazy? What is your identity and what is my identity? If you dare to kill me, you will definitely become the enemy of the Guiyuan sect. At that time, even if you leave the Blood Soul continent, there will be no place for you in the whole universe. There will be no place for you. Think about the consequences carefully." He threatened Xia Ping, using both carrot and stick, hoping to scare Xia Ping with the identity of the Guiyuan sect. Become the enemy of the Guiyuan sect? You think too highly of yourself. Believe it or not, even if I kill you, the Guiyuan sect will not deal with me. You can only die in vain, and no one will shed a tear for you. Xia Ping sneered. Feng Zhi's whole body was cold. He knew that Master Potato's words were not empty words. Although he was a disciple of the Guiyuan sect, the problem was that the Guiyuan sect had too many disciples. There were billions of them. So what if one died? If he was a disciple of a sage, his identity would be different. But unfortunately, he was just an ordinary disciple. He could not make the Guiyuan sect make a big fuss over his death. "Fellow Taoist, please have mercy." At this time, a voice came from afar. Immediately, a white-robed man with a long sword on his back flew in the air. He exuded an abyss-like aura. This person had the cultivation of the divine realm. He had the power to suppress everything. "Senior brother Fan Ming, hurry, hurry, hurry. Come here and kill this audacious bastard. Kill him immediately." Seeing that this person appeared and had a huge backing, Feng Zhi was overjoyed. He immediately became arrogant and roared, "Just now, he actually dared to threaten me. He is arrogant. He thinks that there is no one in the Guiyuan sect. If I don't kill him, my Guiyuan sect will lose face." He was as calm as Mount Tai. With the support of a divine realm cultivator, he was not afraid of anything. But Xia Ping didn't even look. He pointed his finger and aimed at Feng Zhi's forehead. "Damn, kid, what are you trying to do? Quickly stop. You dare to kill my Guiyuan sect's disciple." The white-robed man saw Xia Ping's action and his expression changed. But he was too far away from Xia Ping. Even if he had the cultivation of the divine realm, he couldn't stop it in time. Feng Zhi was dumbfounded. He didn't expect that his senior brother of the Guiyuan sect would appear. There was a divine realm cultivator here to suppress everyone. But this kid still dared to make a move. With a thud, the energy instantly pierced through his forehead. Poochie. In the next second, blood splattered everywhere. A bloody hole appeared on his forehead. Blood dripped down. His eyes were wide open, but the depths of his pupils quickly lost its spirit. Chapter 1154. This. It can't be. Feng Zhi's dead? Killed by Master Potato with a finger. Too arrogant, simply too arrogant. He even dared to kill a Guiyuan sect disciple. Is he crazy? And it was in front of a divine realm cultivator. He is seeking his own death. Crazy. This guy is simply crazy. He doesn't want to live anymore. Everyone was stunned. No matter how rich their imagination was, they completely did not expect such a ridiculous thing to happen. A dignified Guiyuan sect disciple died on the spot. Moreover, it was in front of a divine realm cultivator, in front of many Guiyuan sect disciples. His head was pierced by a finger, extinguishing Feng Zhi's life. Oh my God! Chang Xian and the others were also completely stunned. They all felt that Xia Ping was simply a mess, simply lawless, unscrupulous. He even dared to kill a Guiyuan sect disciple. It was too exaggerated. Even if there was such a chance, they would not dare to do so. After all, killing a Guiyuan sect disciple in front of such a matter was simply not a trivial matter. It would definitely cause a huge uproar. Most importantly, there was a divine tier cultivator backing Feng Zhi up. Who would dare kill a divine tier cultivator right in front of him? Wasn't that a slap to the divine tier cultivator's face? If a divine realm cultivator was angry, this kid would definitely die without a burial place. How could a mere fulfillment realm cultivator be a match for a divine realm cultivator? He would be killed in an instant. At this moment, the white-robed man Fan Ming also rushed over from afar. He floated down from the sky. Seeing that Fengzhi was already killed, his face was extremely ugly, like charcoal. Master Mitato. Fan Ming stared at Xia Ping with a murderous look. Didn't I tell you to stop? You actually dared to directly kill junior brother Fengzhi in front of me. How dare you? His body was filled with terrifying murderous intent. He felt that he had lost all his face. He clearly told this kid not to hurt his junior brother, but his words were ignored. This made him feel extremely embarrassed. Now he was filled with anger. You want me to stop? I have to stop? Who do you think you are? If I want to kill someone, no one can save him. Xia Ping sneered, standing with his hands behind his back. He didn't take Fan Ming seriously at all. Even if this kid was a transcendent realm cultivator with formidable strength, he didn't put Fan Ming in his eyes at all. If they wanted to make a move on him, then come and fight to the death. Who's afraid of who? What? Fan Ming was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. This itinerant cultivator was even more arrogant than him, a disciple of the Gui Yuan sect. He was extremely condescending. Looking at the attitudes of both sides, it was impossible to tell who was the disciple of the big sect and who was the itinerant cultivator. Good, very good. If that's the case, then you can pay with your life for junior brother Fengzhi. Fan Ming was so angry that he started laughing. It's over. The expressions of Chang Xian and the others changed drastically. They had completely angered a divine tier cultivator. This was simply an imminent disaster. This was even more terrifying than offending Fengzhi. If they angered a divine tier cultivator, they would not be able to escape even if they wanted to. They would definitely die. All right, junior brother Fan Ming, stop. All of a sudden, a figure appeared in front of Fan Ming, preventing him from making a move. Senior brother Chen Wei. Everyone was overjoyed. When they saw the man in gray robes appear, they were relieved. This man was the leader who had gathered them, Chen Wei. Although he was also a disciple of the Gui Yuan sect, there was no doubt that he had a high prestige. Many people trusted him and he was fair in doing things. He did not have an arrogant attitude and treated people like a spring breeze. He was different from the others. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He was already prepared to make a move, but now it seemed that there was something wrong. He did not make a move and stood quietly at the side, watching the situation unfold. Senior brother Chen, he killed junior brother Fengzhi and insulted the Gui Yuan sect. Are you trying to stop me? Fan Ming was very angry. Chen Wei stood with his hands behind his back. Junior brother Fan Ming, I've seen what happened just now. This is junior brother Fengzhi's fault. What he did was too much and he deserved it. Now he deserves to be killed. He can't blame anyone else. It can only be said that this was his fate and bad luck. If you still want to make a move and break the unity here, then I'll fight you right here. He clearly wanted to protect Xia Ping and take full responsibility for this matter. He actually let this kid go. This kid killed a disciple of the Gui Yuan sect. How can he let him go and stand up for him? This is too exaggerated. As expected of senior brother Chen, nicknamed Saint Mother Chen. He is too broad-minded and righteous. But a good person who is too rotten won't live long in the universe. Who cares? It's good to have such a good person. At least we don't need to worry about working with him. That's right, we can only be at ease working with such a person. Everyone was discussing and were very surprised. They felt that this Master Mitato should not be related to Chen Wei. Why would he stop Fan Ming? They all felt that it was incredible. However, Chang Xian and the others were very grateful. With such a person appearing, it was like saving their lives. Hey, senior brother Chen, since you said so, then I will let him go for now. I hope that he will not fall into my hands in the future. Fan Ming's face was gloomy. He coldly snorted and looked deeply at Xia Ping, then turned around and left. He also knew that with Chen Wei here, he couldn't do anything to Xia Ping. I'm sorry, brother Mitato. My Guiyuan sect actually produced such a scum and almost hurt you. This is my Guiyuan sect's fault. Please let me apologize on behalf of the Guiyuan sect. Chen Wei bowed towards Xia Ping. Everyone was shocked. They had never seen such a thing. A transcendent realm cultivator actually bowed to a fulfillment realm cultivator. This was too ridiculous. However, Xia Ping looked like he could bear it. He waved his hand and said, "It's okay. Just be careful in the future. Such scum will die in my hands." What? The surrounding people had a strange expression. They felt that this kid was too arrogant. Chen Wei stood up for him and wanted to reconcile with him, but he said such words. He mocked the Guiyuan sect for producing scum. It was like slapping Chen Wei's face. However, Chen Wei didn't seem to understand the meaning of Xia Ping's words. He still smiled and said, "It's good if Brother Mateto is not angry. I hope you won't have a bad impression of our Guiyuan sect because of this and leave this place. I feel that it is our honor to have Brother Mateto join this operation." He wanted to persuade Xia Ping to stay and not leave this operation because of this. Chapter 1155. I believe Brother Wu isn't the only one who's curious about this. Everyone is curious too. Chen Wei smiled and looked at the people around him. I was going to tell you guys later, but since you guys asked, I'll tell you guys now. He took out a transparent glass bottle that seemed to contain red mist. He continued, "This bottle contains a poisonous mist called red mists. I believe everyone knows how powerful this poisonous mist is. Once a living being breathes in a tiny bit of red mist, they'll be unconscious for 3 days and 3 nights. They won't wake up no matter what. If I use this poisonous mist tomorrow, I'll be able to knock out most of the natives. By then, it'll be a piece of cake for us to kill those natives." He revealed his plan. What? Everyone was overjoyed. They had also heard of a poisonous fog like the red mist before. Legend had it that it came from a highly toxic planet and was extremely valuable. Even a golden elixir realm cultivator would not be able to withstand a whiff of it. However, it was just too rare and priceless. Regular martial artists would not be able to find it even if they wanted to. It was not a high-level item that could be bought with money. Lu Rulan was secretly shocked. These extraterrestrial devils were terrifying indeed. They actually had such a terrifying item. She felt that the power of extraterrestrial devils was unfathomable. If you have red mist, wouldn't you be able to kill all the natives there? Why do you need our help? Xia Ping raised his brows. Of course, there's a reason, Chen Wei said. Although I have red mist with me, the problem is that there's too little of it. It can't cover the entire mine. Even if I use it, I'm sure some of the natives will survive. Even if there's only a few of them left, it'll be difficult for us to kill them all with this force alone. We might even suffer heavy casualties when they fight back before they die. To prevent that from happening, we'd like to invite all of you here to help us plan something big. Of course, I've sacrificed a lot too, so I must take the biggest share of the loot. He explained his reasons in detail. I see. I didn't expect Brother Chen to have a reason like that. If we have the red mist, we'll definitely win. There's no room for error. As for Big Brother Chen taking the lead, that's only natural. Without Big Brother Chen's red mist, how could we have gotten rid of those natives unscathed and obtained the soul stones? Although the plan hasn't started yet, I can already see the signs of success. Thank you, Big Brother Chen, for giving us a chance to obtain the soul stone. We can't thank you enough. Everyone was moved to tears and full of confidence. They felt that their plan had basically succeeded. The enemy was in the light while they were in the dark, and they even had a great killing weapon. How could it not succeed? Chang Xian and the others were incomparably excited. Originally, the success rate of their mission was very low and extremely difficult. However, with Chen Wei's help, it was as easy as flipping a hand. Brother Wu, do you have any other questions? Chen Wei looked at Xia Ping. The others also looked at Xia Ping with unfriendly expressions. If Xia Ping continued to nitpick, then he would simply be looking for trouble. In that case, he couldn't blame them for being impolite. Xia Ping shook his head. No. He did not continue to speak. Although he was somewhat puzzled, he did not say anything. Alright, it's getting late now. It's almost time for dinner. When I went out just now, I happened to hunt quite a number of fierce beasts. I think everyone should be able to eat their fill. Chen Wei waved his hand and immediately took out the corpses of 5 fierce beasts from his spatial ring. An hour later, they moved their campsite to another place and set up their tents. Everyone entered the same tent and a large amount of cooked fierce beast meat was carried out. Many people ate the delicious food excitedly. Brother Wu, thank you for helping me just now. If not for you, I would have died just now. Chang Xian looked at Xia Ping gratefully. You're welcome. It was because of me that you encountered such a situation just now. Xia Ping waved his hand. Chang Xian sighed. Fortunately, senior brother Chen appeared. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. That's right. Without Chen Wei, who knows how bad the situation would have become. Feng Zhi and Fan Ming are both despicable people. I didn't expect Chen Wei to be so broad-minded. We are all disciples of the Guiyuan sect, but why is there such a big difference between us? As the saying goes, the dragon gives birth to 9 sons. Each of them is different. In short, we are lucky to have met senior brother Chen Wei. Don't talk about it. Let's hurry up and eat. This kind of fierce beast meat is very rare. It contains pure blood energy. It is very beneficial for our cultivation. Wang Chen and the others slurped down on the fierce beast meat. They planned to eat until they were full so that they would have enough physical strength to deal with the battle tomorrow. Xia Ping also planned to eat. But suddenly, his bloodline throbbed. He seemed to have sensed that there was something wrong with the fierce beast meat. He immediately hesitated. Xia Ping, be careful. The aura here is a bit strange. Corinne's voice suddenly came out. His tone was very solemn. What do you mean? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. Corinne said, just now, I used the exploration system to detect the composition of the surrounding air. I discovered that the air of this place is filled with the fragrance of a dream dew flower. There is indeed a trace of a faintly discernible fragrance. So, there is nothing wrong with it. Xia Ping looked around from the corner of his eyes. He discovered that there were several pots of purple flowers placed in the corners of the tent. They looked very beautiful. The people of Guiyuan sect had moved them here to decorate the tent. If it is only the dream dew flower, there is indeed nothing wrong with it because this flower does not have any benefits for the human body. The problem is that this flower has a special characteristic. If it is fused with the swift grass, it can fuse into a colorless and odorless poisonous gas. Corinne solemnly said, this poisonous gas is very frightening. If a martial artist smells it, they will be in a period of weakness for a day. Their magic power will completely disappear, and they will be even more fragile than an ordinary person. This is a relatively taboo poison in the universe. What? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. You mean, the people of Guiyuan sect are poisoning us? There is no doubt, Corinne said with certainty. This food definitely contains the swift grass. It can also be used as a seasoning and as a food concoction. This is the method of an assassin. In the universe, there was an outstanding and famous assassin organization. They used this method to kill who knows how many experts. Chapter 1156. But the people around us don't seem to have any reaction. Xia Ping looked around. The people around him were all eating happily, and there seemed to be no signs of poisoning. This poison doesn't take effect immediately. The incubation period is half a day. It will slowly spread to the whole body, and there will be no abnormalities during this period. It will be too late when it fully takes effect. Corinne said, half a day. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. In other words, the Guiyuan sect has long planned this. They don't want to share the soul stones in the mine with us. After using us to kill the group of Blood Soul Continent natives, they want to use this method to kill us all. Are they trying to do evil? They have a big appetite. He understood the plan of the Guiyuan sect and the others. They were indeed ruthless. Of course they have a big appetite. Corinne sneered. Soul stones are also very precious ores in the universe. They can enhance soul energy. Who knows how many warriors want to get them? They can be sold at a sky-high price in the universe. It can be said that if we get this soul stone mine, it is equivalent to getting rich overnight. Think about it carefully. If it were you, would you be so stupid as to hand over this mine to someone else? This is impossible. How can sharing with others be better than monopolizing it? I think you should expose the conspiracy of the Guiyuan sect now. We must not let them succeed. It gave its suggestion to Xia Ping. No hurry. Xia Ping smiled. They want to do evil. Why don't we do the opposite? I am actually very interested in monopolizing it. What? What do you want to do? Corinne couldn't help but shiver. It didn't know why it felt that this guy was worse and more sinister than the group of people from the Guiyuan sect. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Let's see who will have the last laugh. Xia Ping clenched his fists. The Guiyuan sect wanted to use them, but he also wanted to use the Guiyuan sect to help get rid of the group of Blood Soul Continent natives. After all, if he wanted to get the soul stones in the soul stone mine, he first had to deal with the group of natives. There were divine power realm cultivators among them. Of course, a few divine ability realm cultivators weren't much. What they were afraid of was that they would call their friends. If they completely alarmed Soul Palace, they would probably encounter big trouble. At that time, they would definitely be surrounded. If the people from the Guiyuan sect were to help, they would be able to get rid of this group of people in the blink of an eye. They would not give the natives a chance to call for help. As for the life and death of the disciples of the Five Elements sect and the Lingyun sect, it had nothing to do with him. Just now, when he was in trouble, this group of people wanted to hit him when he was down. So, he had no reason to remind them. Of course, Chang Xian and the others were not bad. With his current strength, it would not be difficult for him to save their lives. For now, he would pretend not to know anything to avoid alerting the enemy. Brother Wu. Suddenly, Chen Wei appeared in front of Xia Ping. His face was as warm as a spring breeze. Look at your troubled expression. Are you dissatisfied with the food I prepared? Why aren't you eating? Damn it, this guy actually came. What a despicable and insidious guy. He must be here to monitor the people who didn't eat the food here to prevent any fish from escaping the net. He wants to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Corinne immediately shouted, Xia Ping, you must not eat the food here. Otherwise, you will definitely be poisoned. At that time, it will be very difficult to get rid of the poison. You can only fall out with this guy in this place. Corinne promptly reminded. Xia Ping slightly smiled. No, how can I not be satisfied with this kind of food? I was just thinking about something, that's all. After saying that, he picked up a piece of meat and ate it. It's over. Corinne was burning with anxiety. He was very anxious. He had clearly told this guy that it was absolutely impossible. Why did he still foolishly step into this fatal trap? Isn't he stupid? So that's how it is. Then, I won't disturb you. Brother Wu, you can eat slowly. Seeing Xia Ping eat, Chen Wei's smile became even more brilliant. Obviously, he was very satisfied. Then, he went to greet everyone at the table and invited everyone to eat. It seemed that after seeing everyone eat the vicious beast meat, he finally felt relieved and left. Of course, this enthusiastic attitude of his seemed to others to be hospitable and like to make friends. It was not because he had ulterior motives. Everyone was very happy. Xia Ping, are you stupid? Didn't I just tell you that this kind of vicious beast meat can't be eaten? Once you eat it, it will be impossible to detoxify the poison. Corinne said, you should take advantage of the fact that the poison has not flared up and quickly run away. It's all right. This kind of poison is nothing to me. I have a physique that is immune to poison. Xia Ping indifferently said, after swallowing the vicious beast meat into his stomach. His voice had just fallen when a red flame rose up in his stomach. The raging flame burned and everything turned into a mass of energy, fusing into his limbs and bones. Those unwanted impurities passed through his countless pores and turned into gas, which was released without a trace. Any poison that wanted to enter Xia Ping's body would be burned cleanly and couldn't harm him at all. Especially after awakening the infernal golden crow's stomach, his resistance to poison has become even stronger. However, this can only resist most of the poisons. It still can't resist some of the more terrifying special poisons. When he awakens the infernal golden crow's kidney, he will be able to truly detoxify all the poisons in the world. Immune to poison? The corner of Corinne's mouth twitched. He was shocked. He didn't expect Xia Ping to have such a physique. No wonder he dared to eat it. It turns out that he is not afraid of these poisons. However, having such a physique is a great advantage in the universe. After all, there are countless poisons in the depths of the universe. If one is not careful, they will be poisoned and die without knowing how. Every year, many powerful martial artists were accidentally poisoned by special poisons and died a violent death just like that. I'm really looking forward to what kind of tricks they will play tomorrow. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and looked at Chen Wei and the others who had already left the tent. At this moment, Chen Wei and the others quickly left the tent where everyone was gathered and came to a hidden cave a few miles away. This was the temporary place where many Guiyuan sect disciples gathered. Just now, the Divine Power Realm cultivator Fan Ming was also here. Chen Wei, what did you mean just now? Seeing Chen Wei, Fan Ming immediately made things difficult. That bitch Wu Wudi is so arrogant. She killed junior brother Feng Zhe in front of so many people, but you don't even dare to fart. Are you even a member of our Guiyuan sect? Don't tell me you have a shady relationship with that Wu Wudi? Chapter 1157. Junior brother Fan, don't worry. Don't you know what kind of person I am? How can I let someone who offends my Guiyuan sect live? Aren't you looking down on me? Chen Wei smiled at Fan Ming. His eyes were like a venomous snake, sending chills down one's spine. What happened? Chen Wei, did you do something to that kid? Fan Ming was shocked. He could feel the chill in Chen Wei's eyes that made his hair stand on end. He didn't know how many times he had seen Chen Wei show such eyes, but each time it meant a river of blood. Who knew how many people would die under his tricks? Chen Wei narrowed his eyes. I didn't do anything, but he's not far from death. Could it be that the kid was poisoned? Fan Ming immediately understood Chen Wei's words. He was a part of this plan and knew what Chen Wei was going to do next. That's right. Chen Wei nodded. I saw him eat the food I gave him with my own eyes. He's now poisoned. I guess he'll be a corpse by this time tomorrow. Of course, it's not just Master Mutato. Even the people around him will die this time. Chen Wei's tone was very calm. It was as if he wasn't killing people but stepping on a few ants. That's great. Fan Ming was overjoyed. A proud smile appeared on his face. Tomorrow, I'll be able to see this kid begging for mercy on the ground. Let's see if he can still be arrogant then. But I'm still not happy. He's just a wandering cultivator. He's trash. Why bother to deal with him? Can't you just kill him with a punch? He still felt a little unhappy. Stupid. Chen Wei snorted. You're impulsive and brainless. That's why you've suffered so many losses. As a wandering cultivator, you still dare to come to Blood Soul mainland alone. Do you think it's possible that you don't have any skills? Even when facing us, Transcendent Realm cultivators, this kid is not afraid at all. I'm sure that he definitely has a way to fight against us. Chen Wei's tone was very strict. He's just a Fulfillment Realm cultivator. Even if he's strong, what can he do? Besides, if this kid has something, don't we? Fan Ming was still a little unconvinced. Maybe not. This is uncertainty. A cold glint flashed in Chen Wei's eyes. I don't care what kind of confidence this kid has. In any case, I only want one thing for this plan. Nothing will go wrong. I, Chen Wei, will never do something I'm not confident in, nor will I rely on luck. If I can kill the enemy, I won't do something stupid that might cause unnecessary trouble. Therefore, I will temporarily tolerate him. When he is completely poisoned and unable to resist, he will be an ant in my palm. Whether he lives or dies will be up to me. Fan Ming, I have to warn you. Until the end of tomorrow, you are not to make any moves. Otherwise, even if you are a disciple of the Guiyuan sect, I will send you to hell. He warned Fan Ming fiercely, killing intent radiating in all directions. He did not conceal it at all. Yes. Fan Ming shivered, feeling a bone-piercing chill. Even though he and Chen Wei were fellow disciples of the same sect, he still feared Chen Wei from the bottom of his heart. If Chen Wei really wanted to kill him, it would be a piece of cake. Fan Ming immediately lowered his head, not daring to go against Chen Wei. Very well, let's wait for tomorrow then. Chen Wei nodded, satisfied. The night passed uneventfully. The next day, Xia Ping and the rest woke up and set off for the Soul Stone Mine. Not long after, they finally arrived at the outskirts of the Soul Stone Mine. From afar, they immediately noticed that there were many soldiers stationed around the Soul Stone Mine. They were densely packed and were distributed in every corner of the mine. Vaguely, they could sense the aura of divine realm cultivators coming from the depths of the mine. They were lurking in the dark, as though there was a terrifying beast hibernating in the dark, waiting for the enemy to come knocking before giving them a fatal blow. That's right. This is the Soul Stone Mine. I can clearly sense the dense aura of the soul stones. The security is indeed tight. If it were just us, I'm afraid we wouldn't be able to break into the mine. There are divine realm cultivators here too. If we force our way in, we will definitely suffer heavy casualties. That's right. After all, these native divine realm cultivators are too terrifying. They are proficient in the secret arts of the mind. Once they use them, we might be killed without a trace. Everyone discussed among themselves, lowering their voices and breathing. Their faces were filled with excitement because the Soul Stone Mine was right in front of them. The mission was imminent. Who wouldn't be excited? Xia Ping was expressionless. He stayed in the crowd and didn't say anything, keeping a low profile. Everyone. At this moment, Chen Wei stood up and said, "The plan is about to begin. I will go and release the red mist now. Once I knock out all the natives, you guys can attack and kill all the poison natives." "Senior Brother Chen, isn't this too risky?" A Guiyuan sect disciple immediately jumped out and said, "You were the one who suggested this plan, but you are also the one who will do the most dangerous thing. If the natives discover your tracks, I'm afraid you will be surrounded and attacked by many of them. When that happens, you will definitely suffer great injuries. You might even die." Xia Ping could tell that this Guiyuan sect disciple was just a supporting actor. He was trying his best to make Chen Wei look tall and mighty. "Sai, you can't say that. If I don't go to hell, who will?" Chen Wei put on a righteous expression. "I was the one who suggested this plan, so I should be the one to face the greatest danger. Otherwise, I'm not fit to be the leader of this operation. In any case, I won't say anything unnecessary. Let's begin the plan. You guys coming here as soon as possible is already the greatest help to me, Chen Wei." Hearing these words, everyone was moved to tears. This Chen Wei was indeed a righteous person. Normally, when a leader was in danger, his subordinates would go first and the leader would bring up the rear. However, Chen Wei went first and let his subordinates bring up the rear. If this wasn't righteousness, then what was? Now, they no longer had any doubts. All they felt was gratitude towards Chen Wei. He's a talent. Xia Ping was also secretly impressed. If they hadn't met him, this group of people probably wouldn't even know how they died, being played around in circles by others. As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Wei immediately made his move. He silently disappeared from where he was and entered the Soul Stone Mine. Boom! Not long after, Xia Ping and the others heard a shocking explosion coming from the depths of the Soul Stone Mine. Following that, a large amount of red mist spread out from the depths of the Soul Stone Mine. In just a few breaths' time, the red mist had already filled the entire area. After that, they heard the sounds of fighting, the sound of bodies falling to the ground, the sound of swords clashing, and the wails of dying people. Chapter 1158. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Chang Xian and the rest moved immediately. All of them were as agile as monkeys. Without a sound, they instantly entered the Soul Stone Mine, wanting to finish off the unconscious aborigines on the ground. At this moment, the red mist dissipated quickly, revealing its original appearance. That's strange. Where are those aborigines? Where did they go? However, when Chang Xian and the rest charged in, they discovered a strange phenomenon. There were no unconscious figures on the ground. It was as if it was a ghost town. They instinctively felt that something was wrong. The scene in front of them was beyond their expectations. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to move after being hit by the red mist. Where are those aborigines? Could they have been killed by senior brother Chenwei? No, even if they were killed, their corpses should have been left behind. It's indeed strange. We clearly saw many aborigines guards just now, but now they've all disappeared. Everyone discussed and looked around cautiously. They felt that the situation was different from what they had imagined. All of them were on high alert. At this moment, there was an air-piercing sound in the surroundings, as well as orderly footsteps. In the next second, figures appeared in the surroundings, instantly surrounding Chang Xian and the rest. The people surrounding them were the aborigines they had seen just now. How is this possible? Why are these aborigines unharmed? Chang Xian and the rest were shocked. They simply could not believe their eyes. This was truly unbelievable. Under the red mist, even golden elixir realm cultivators would be unconscious. With the strength of these aborigines, they would not be able to escape the effects of the poisonous mist no matter what. The problem was what was going on. Not only were these aborigines not dead, but they had also taken the opportunity to surround them completely. They had fallen into an ambush from all sides. Ha, foolish demons! You've been tricked. At this moment, a bald, middle-aged man who was 9 meters tall walked out. He looked at Chang Xian and the rest with a proud expression. His eyes were filled with ferocity. What? Lu Rulan was shocked because she immediately recognized the bald, middle-aged man's true identity. Even if he turned into ashes, she would still recognize him. He was Huaining City's Soul Palace master, Zhuo Hao. She didn't expect to meet Zhuo Hao again so soon, and under such circumstances. Brother Qin, I didn't think that you would really be a man of your word. You really brought these outer realm fiends over to their deaths. I am very satisfied with this deal. The bald, middle-aged man snickered. Brother Zhuo Hao, it's good that you're satisfied. Integrity is a basic character of a businessman. Isn't our cooperation built on integrity? At this moment, a young man walked out and smiled. Chenwei, what's going on? Why aren't they dead yet? Chang Xian and the others saw that Zhuo Hao, who had just entered the soul stone vein, was standing beside these aborigines. It seemed like the relationship between the two sides was very good, and there was no sense of enmity between the aborigines and the universe's martial artists. They simply couldn't believe their eyes. They felt that this was too absurd. Since when did the natives of the Blood Soul continent become so friendly to the warriors of the universe? It was simply unimaginable. Do you even need to ask? Xia Ping said faintly, Chen Wei obviously betrayed us and colluded with these aborigines. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He felt that he had underestimated Chen Wei. From the beginning, Chen Wei's target was probably them, and he had already colluded with these aborigines. Betrayed us? Chen Wei, have you lost your mind? Do you know who you are? You actually collaborated with the aborigines? If this matter is exposed, there will be no place for you in the universe. Why did you do this? What benefits did those aborigines give you? Chang Xian and the others shouted angrily. They weren't fools. Based on the situation in front of them, it was obvious that Chen Wei had betrayed them and colluded with these aborigines. Benefits? Do you think that I would do such a thing without enough benefits? Chen Wei smiled faintly. There's no harm in telling you this. The Guiyuan sect has already discussed with our friends from the soul race. If we use your lives in exchange, 2/3 of the soul stones in this soul stone vein will belong to us. Tell me, how can I not agree to such benefits? He had already discussed the conditions with Zhuo Hao and the others. Lu Rulan immediately understood why Zhuo Hao wanted to do this. To the Soul Palace, the lives of the extraterrestrial demons were more important than the soul stones. If anyone could kill an extraterrestrial demon, they would receive great rewards and even an extremely high status. It was even possible for them to be promoted to the Soul Palace's elder. Compared to the Soul Palace's status and rewards, the soul stones in a small soul stone vein were nothing. Of course, they were willing to cooperate with Chen Wei and the others. Zhua Hao and the others wanted the lives of Chang Xian and the other extraterrestrial demons, while Chen Wei and the others needed the soul stones. Everyone agreed on this matter and took what they needed. Chen Wei, have you gone mad? These aboriginals are all despicable bastards. Once they kill us, they will turn around and kill you all as well. At that time, all of your efforts will be in vain. You won't have a good ending either. Chang Xian and the others shouted furiously as they glared at Chen Wei. Don't worry about that. Chen Wei was calm and composed. I've already signed a mental contract with them. If anyone dares to violate the contract, their soul will be shattered on the spot and they will die without a complete corpse. With a mental contract, no one dares to violate it. He had already made preparations. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to cooperate with the soul race. The soul race naturally did the same. Mental contract. Lu Rulan's expression was solemn. Even in the Blood Soul mainland, a mental contract was an extremely precious rune scroll. It was a mysterious rune passed down from ancient times. Once the content of the contract was signed, both parties' souls would be bound together. If anyone violated the contract, their soul would immediately be destroyed. No one could save them. In order to annihilate these extraterrestrial demons, Zhua Hao had clearly put in a lot of effort. Damn it, Chen Wei has already sold his soul to the devil. He's no longer on our side. Don't think that you're so great just because you're working together with the Aborigines. We still have over 100 people. You won't have a good ending. Go, kill Chen Wei and the Aborigines. Chang Xian and the others were extremely angry. Although they had been ambushed by the soul race, they still had their strength. If they fought to the death, it was still unknown who would win. All of them wanted to rush forward and kill Chen Wei. You still want to kill me? It's too late. Looking at the time, the drug should be taking effect by now. Chapter 1159. The effect of the poison took effect. Before Chang Xian and the others could figure out what was going on, they suddenly felt a wave of weakness in their bodies. The magic power in the depths of their purple palace was rapidly disappearing. It was as if their strength had been sucked dry on the spot. Oh no, the magic power in my body is disappearing? Oh my God, what is happening? I can feel my strength disappearing bit by bit. Damn you, Chen Wei, what did you do to us? Chang Xian and the others were horrified. They felt an unprecedented weakness in their bodies. One by one, they fell to the ground. With a few clangs, the weapons in their hands fell to the ground. They had difficulty breathing and were drenched in sweat. They were like a pile of mud, unable to exert any strength at all. Originally, they had the strength of Fulfillment Realm or even Transcendent Realm. They could shatter mountains with a wave of their hands. If they were in ancient China, they would be like gods on earth. But now, they felt their strength disappearing rapidly. It was as if they had turned into mortals. They were even weaker than when they were still infants. Dozens or even hundreds of years of hard work had been destroyed. Every one of them was terrified and filled with despair. Don't worry. You guys were just poisoned, causing your cultivation to disappear temporarily. This isn't permanent. It will only last for 24 hours. After that, you will slowly recover. Chen Wei said with a smile. 24 hours. Chang Xian and the others felt even more despair. Even if they were only weakened for a few minutes, they would still be dead. They would be hacked to death by Chen Wei and the natives. Not to mention, they would be weakened for 24 hours. This was simply asking for their lives. They were filled with despair. They knew that they had fallen into Chen Wei's trap. There was no chance for them to survive. Brother Chen, this poison is really powerful. It can actually weaken these powerful extraterritorial devils to this extent. They can't fight back at all and are at our mercy. Zhua Hao stared at Chen Wei with a cold glint in his eyes. If this poison is used on us, the soul race, will it have the same effect? He was very wary of Chen Wei's method. After all, if Chen Wei were to use this method on them, they would most likely end up in the same predicament as well. Don't worry, this kind of poison is still very rare. I also paid a huge price to find it, so I won't use it easily. Moreover, we have signed a spiritual contract that we will never harm each other, so why would I use this kind of method to deal with you? After all, we're friends, aren't we? Chen Wei said sincerely. Friend Mies. Zhua Hao sneered in his heart. He would not believe a single word that Chen Wei said. If Chen Wei could kill his own people, how could he believe that Chen Wei would not do the same to them? However, with the spiritual contract in hand, he believed that no matter how vicious this fellow was, he would not dare to lay a hand on him. Chen Wei didn't say much. He instructed Fan Ming and the other Guyuan sect disciples, "All right, let's cut the crap. Kill them all. Don't leave a single one alive." He was vicious and merciless. He wanted to kill Chang Xian and the others immediately, to cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. He did not even have a second to waste. Damn Chen Wei. You will die a horrible death. I trusted you so much in vain. I didn't expect you to be such a despicable person. If you kill me, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. The group of people shouted in grief and indignation. They felt that they were crazy to trust Chen Wei and the others. They regretted their gullibility. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Regretting? It's too late. The most important thing to remember when you're out in the world is not to trust strangers so easily. Didn't your fathers teach you this when you were young? Chen Wei said with a smile. A bunch of idiots. I don't know why you're so stupid. That's right. If we could easily kill these natives and obtain the soul stone, why would we ask you to share it with us? Go to hell and regret believing in us so foolishly. Idiots will not be able to survive in the universe. Now, we will teach you these principles. A group of Guyuan sect disciples smiled ferociously. With weapons in their hands, they attacked. They were like bandits killing helpless villagers. No. Spare me. Spare me. As long as you spare my life, we are willing to be your slave. You can't kill me. You can't kill me. My father is the manager of 5 Elements sect. I can give you money. I can give you money. I can give you as much money as you want. Spare my life. Everyone was wailing and begging for mercy. However, the people of the Guyuan sect did not show mercy and killed them mercilessly. Compared to these benefits, if this matter was leaked out, it would be a disaster. It was impossible for them to let these disciples leave alive. Only dead people could keep secrets. Bang bang bang. These Guyuan sect disciples were extremely ruthless. Heads flew in the air and blood flowed. Dozens of people were killed on the spot and turned into corpses on the ground. It's over. It's over. It's completely over this time. Chang Xian and the other Ling Yun sect disciples were desperate. They wanted to take the opportunity to obtain the soul stone to complete the mission, but they fell into this situation. They were extremely weak now. Even if they wanted to escape, they did not have any strength. Are we going to die this time? Lu Run also fell on the ground weakly. Because she had eaten a lot of food yesterday, she was poisoned. She did not expect that after running for so long, she still could not escape from Huaining City's Soul Palace Master Zhua Hao's evil claws. Master Wu Taidu. Suddenly, there was a loud shout. Fan Ming did not care about anyone and walked in front of Xia Ping. He looked at him with a ferocious face and a murderous aura. He simply hated this person who dared to talk back to him yesterday and almost made him lose face. He wished for nothing more than to kill him, skin him, and pull out his tendons. It was already considered that he had a good temper to be able to endure for a night. Now that the situation was set, no one would stop him. So how could he not come for revenge? You were arrogant yesterday. Have you ever thought of this ending today? Arrogant? Continue to be arrogant. You even dared to kill my Guyuan sect disciples in front of me. You're so arrogant. You must be tired of living. Fan Ming sneered and emitted a powerful aura. It was like a mountain pressing down, as if he wanted to press Xia Ping to the ground and make him kneel in front of him, kowtow and admit his mistake. The surrounding people were shocked. The aura of a transcendent realm cultivator was terrifying. Normal cultivators could not even get close to him. It was as if the ground had been pressed down by a few centimeters. A group of Guyuan sect disciples looked at Xia Ping as if they were looking at a dead man. After offending Fan Ming, it was impossible for him to live. Chapter 1160. So what if I'm arrogant? Do you dare to bite me? Hearing this, Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back and looked at Fan Ming calmly. There was no hint of fear in his eyes. Fuck, this kid is too arrogant. He's obviously poisoned and has no strength left. He's a prisoner. If he begs for mercy, he might be spared. How dare he provoke us? Does he think his life is too long? This kid is probably completely crazy. He knows that he's going to die, so he's venting before he dies. Venting? He angered Senior Fan Ming. Even if he wants to die, it won't be easy. Many of the Guiyuan sect disciples looked at Xia Ping with pity in their eyes. They knew how cruel Fan Ming was. If he offended Fan Ming, death might be a better outcome. Brother Wu, Chang Xian and the others were extremely anxious. They could clearly feel Fan Ming's murderous intent. However, they couldn't even protect themselves now. Even if they wanted to help, there was nothing they could do. Good, very good. Fan Ming was so angry that he laughed. I like tough bones like you the most. It's especially fun to torture you like this. To be honest, it'll be hard for you to die later. As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately attacked. A giant hand made of mana reached out like the palm of a giant. It wanted to grab Xia Ping and crush him into a cripple. Fan Ming used all his strength, even when he was facing a poison person. One could imagine how angry Fan Ming was now. He even wanted to kill Xia Ping dozens of times. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He immediately activated the infinite blades on his body. Immediately, a sharp long sword appeared in his right hand. Shoot him, infinite blades. As soon as he finished speaking, the long sword instantly elongated. Its speed was extremely fast. Like a poisonous snake, it shot towards Fan Ming's body, emitting a cold light in midair. What? Fan Ming was shocked. He didn't expect this kid to be able to resist at this time. Logically speaking, this kid without mana should be weaker than a baby. However, this long sword contained a terrifying sword aura. It made him feel uneasy. It was as if he was being stared at by a peerless swordsman who had triggered a sword aura that could tear the sky. In midair, the huge hand made of magic power collided with the sword. However, the long sword instantly pierced through the huge hand made of magic power. The tyrannical sword energy instantly tore the magic power into countless pieces. This long sword was unstoppable. It did not slow down in the slightest and continued to shoot toward Fan Ming's body. It had already surpassed 20 to 30 times the speed of sound. This kind of speed was so fast that the surrounding cultivators couldn't even see it clearly. They only saw a dazzling cold light in the air, emitting a murderous aura that was bone-chilling. Not good. Fan Ming's hair stood on end, and he could feel all the cells in his body boiling. A dangerous aura spread throughout his body, as if the Grim Reaper had descended upon him. He could clearly feel that this long sword was different from other treasured swords. It contained a trace of the aura of a saint, as if there was a Taoist rhyme within it. It was unfathomable. Just a strand of this aura was enough to tear everything apart. Ordinary magic treasures would not be able to withstand such a sharp edge. Meteor Fist. Fan Ming roared, and all the magic in his body started to circulate. He immediately used one of his martial arts mystiques and punched out. Countless gray air currents in the air rapidly gathered together, turning into a huge gray meteor. This gray meteor looked simple and unadorned. It was surrounded by air currents and kept spinning like a star. Under Fan Ming's control, it smashed towards Xia Ping. This was a martial arts mystique that he had cultivated. It was very powerful. When he punched out, it was like a meteor smashing the ground. It had the power to destroy cities, and ordinary cultivators would not be able to withstand a single punch from him. With such a martial arts mystique, even a light blow was enough to blast a huge hole in the ground. Moreover, Fan Ming felt that he was in mortal danger, and so he used his full strength. In an instant, the meteor and the long sword collided in midair. Immediately, there was a loud sound of collision. The force of the collision shook, as though it had shaken thousands of times in a second, producing an extremely strong destructive force. The force of the collision caused a huge hole in the ground. Soil flew everywhere and the ground cracked. The impact extended for 2 to 3 kilometers, and rocks were shattered into pieces. The surrounding cultivators were sent flying, coughing up blood in midair. Their organs were all severely injured. Some of the poisoned cultivators were unable to resist at all. They were shaken into a pile of minced meat on the spot, dying without a complete corpse. Impossible! Fan Ming had thought that his mystique punch would be able to send the long sword flying even if it was unable to shatter it. However, the moment his fist came into contact with the long sword, he realized that he was wrong. Very wrong. This was because the sharpness of the long sword was completely beyond his imagination. It had an invincible might, and a mere meteor would not be able to withstand the sharpness of the long sword. Kachakat. In the blink of an eye, the long sword pierced through the meteor, shattering it from the middle. The surrounding mana was pierced through as though it had turned into nothingness at that moment. In the next second, the long sword pierced through Fan Ming's chest, causing blood to splatter everywhere. Even though he was wearing an superior-grade armor, it was more fragile than tofu in the face of the endless blades. Arg! Fan Ming let out a shrill cry, feeling waves of intense pain coming from the depths of his chest. It then rapidly spread to every nerve in his body. He was practically insane, sinking into the abyss of despair. That was because the sword had not only pierced through his chest, but even his heart had been destroyed on the spot. Blood spurted out of his body like a fountain, splattering all over the ground. "I am dead." Fan Ming's eyes were wide open, unable to believe what was happening before his eyes. He was a mystique realm cultivator, had mastered a martial arts mystique, and was extremely powerful in combat. The other party was just a fulfillment realm cultivator, and he was even poisoned. But now, with just a single move, it had pierced through his heart and taken his life. How could he dare to believe such an absurd thing? However, even if he did not believe it, Fan Ming felt the strength in his body rapidly disappear. He felt as though his eyes were turning dark, and he was slowly falling into the deepest depths of the abyss of hell. With a thought from Xia Ping, the long sword immediately retracted and left Fan Ming's body. With a few splurts, the wound on Fan Ming's body expanded, and blood spurted out. Chapter 1161. When Fan Ming fell to the ground and was killed in an instant, everyone was shocked. Is this a joke? Senior brother Fan Ming is dead. Impossible. Something like this can't happen. Senior brother Fan Ming is a divine realm cultivator. How could a mere fulfillment realm wandering cultivator kill him? That's right. It must be an illusion. The kid was poisoned and has no mana. How could he have the strength to kill senior brother Fan Ming? That's right, but senior brother Fan Ming is really lying on the ground. His heart has been pierced. If this isn't death, then what is? And I don't feel like I'm hallucinating. No, this isn't an illusion. Senior brother Fan Ming was killed by this kid. Many of the Guiyuan sect disciples were shocked. Looking at Xia Ping, who stood there silently, they could not help but feel a bone-piercing chill. It was as if they were looking at the god of death. This kid was clearly just a fulfillment realm cultivator, and he was also poisoned, but he was still able to kill Fan Ming in this situation. It was truly inconceivable. The way they looked at Xia Ping suddenly became incomparably frightened. They felt that this kid was a monster who had hidden himself well. He's too strong. He killed Fan Ming in an instant. No wonder he wasn't afraid when he killed Feng Zhe of Guiyuan sect last night. If he had the strength to kill a divine realm cultivator, then this wouldn't be surprising. However, to be able to kill a divine realm cultivator above his level. This kind of combat power is rare even in a sacred sect. How could a mere wandering cultivator be so strong? The number of wandering cultivators is too large. Although most of them are weak, there are a few monstrous geniuses. I have to say, there are too many hidden dragons and crouching tigers in this world. As expected of Big Brother Wu, I knew his strength was unfathomable. Chang Xian and the others were also shocked. Although they had seen Xia Ping's strength last night, it was only the tip of the iceberg. No matter how imaginative they were, they did not think that Xia Ping would have the strength to kill a divine realm cultivator like Fan Ming in an instant. It was too shocking. No, that's not right. You still have mana in your body. Are you not poisoned? But I saw you eat all the food. Chen Wei's face darkened. He did not feel any pain over Fan Ming's death, but he was very dissatisfied with Xia Ping, the unexpected pawn. He felt that his perfect plan had been disrupted by this unexpected factor. If his perfect plan was overturned by this brat, then the joke would be too big. He would never allow such an accident to happen. Who knows? Why don't you go to hell and ask the king of hell what happened? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and gave his suggestion to Chen Wei. Arrogant. Chen Wei harumphed coldly. You think you can live just because you killed Fan Ming? He's simply overestimating himself. Junior brothers, let's attack together and slaughter this madman. A terrifying murderous aura emanated from his body. Although he didn't know why this kid wasn't poisoned, they still had the absolute advantage in the current situation. So what if he wasn't poisoned? Even with their combined strength, it was enough to kill this brat dozens of times. In an instant, 3 or 4 Guiyuan sect disciples immediately rushed out from the side. All of them were cultivators at the peak of the fulfillment realm. Their figures were like ghosts, silently approaching Xia Ping. Go to hell, Master Mutato. This group of people shouted. With a clang, they all took out a long sword from their bodies and stabbed at Xia Ping. Immediately, dozens of terrifying sword chi blasted out, like a poisonous snake, extremely fast and vicious. They all happened to be in the blind spots of Xia Ping's sight, and there was no way to avoid. Oh no! Chang Xian and others all felt a chill in their hearts. With so many experts attacking Xia Ping at the same time, it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. As long as a sharp sword stabbed Xia Ping, he would be eliminated on the spot. This battle could not tolerate any mistakes. Dark North Body Protection Art. Xia Ping sneered and operated the mana in his body. A huge energy shield rose up, and a vague Kun Peng appeared behind him, wandering in the void. This energy shield was flowing like water, constantly rotating, as if the yin and yang were in a spiral state, like a whirlpool, containing many mysterious runes. Bang bang bang. In the blink of an eye, these sword chi all bombarded on Xia Ping's body, immediately bursting out a banging sound. What? These Guiyuan sect disciples were all shocked because they found that when their sword chi bombarded on this kid, it was instantly swallowed by this energy shield, like being involved in a whirlpool, unable to hurt this kid at all. They even felt that their bodies were controlled by the tyrannical devouring power. Even if they wanted to leave this place, it was extremely difficult, as if the breath on their body was completely locked. All of you go to hell. Xia Ping's body was filled with murderous intent, as if at this moment, dozens of miles turned into a bloody domain, full of bone-piercing killing intent. Help, Senior Brother Chen. These Guiyuan sect disciples were scared half to death, and their faces were ashen. They seemed to feel the moment of death, knowing that they could not escape the attack range of this terrible rogue cultivator. They couldn't help but cry for help. Trash rogue cultivator, stop immediately. The 2 or 3 Guiyuan sect disciples next to him saw this. They could no longer sit still. If this kid continued like this, a few more Guiyuan sect disciples would definitely die. With such a thing happening, they couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Immediately, they attacked, splitting into several directions to attack Xia Ping, wanting to besiege the weak to save the weak. I said, no one can save the person I want to kill. Yang God Fist. Xia Ping took a step forward and used the holy class unique skill, Yang God Fist. In an instant, this fist was like the sun rising from the east, endless heat gathered in the fist, and a terrifying flame exploded at this moment, producing a terrifying explosive force. Oh no! The 3 or 4 Guiyuan sect disciples' faces turned green. Such a flame contained a terrifying destructive aura. Although it was not close, they could feel the power to incinerate everything, and this was definitely something they could not defend against. Rumble, in the next second, The power of this fist exploded, and flames swept across the sky, instantly surrounding the Guyuan sect disciples, like a flaming demon swallowing all of them. Ah! They immediately let out shrill cries, as if they were in a fiery hell. Every cell in their body was burning, and they were in unbearable pain. Moreover, this was not an instant death, but under the burning of the fire crow, they died bit by bit, as if they could see the process of their own death. It was an extremely painful torture. Chapter 1162. Damn it! The expressions of the three Divine Realm Guyuan sect disciples changed. They could feel the terror of this punch. Even though they were Divine Realm cultivators, they couldn't block it and had to avoid it. The power of the fire contained in it was too terrifying. It specialized in burning magic power. Once they touched it, they wouldn't be able to block it even if they cultivated a good defensive technique. Even if it couldn't kill them, it could make them lose half their lives. What kind of fire is this? Why is its power so terrifying? Everyone was shocked. They could feel the terror of Xia Ping's punch. It was as if the fire was an extreme flame that erupted from the depths of a star. It was filled with destruction, burning, and other characteristics. If it came into contact with it, it would not rest until the object was burned to ashes. In the universe, many people called this type of fire unusual fire. This guy isn't a normal wandering cultivator. He has an unusual fire. No wonder he dares to enter the Blood Soul continent and act so arrogantly. Chen Wei's expression was very ugly. He felt that he had underestimated this wandering cultivator. Just this strength was enough for him to sweep through Fulfillment Realm cultivators. If he wasn't careful, even Divine Realm cultivators would be heavily injured. After all, the power of an unusual fire was not to be underestimated. What a terrifying extraterrestrial demon! Zhuahao and the other soul race members were also shocked. It was their first time encountering such a terrifying extraterrestrial demon. It was like a demon god that controlled fire and emitted power that could destroy the world. Am I going to break through? Xia Ping's heart moved. He realized that a barrier deep within his purple mansion space had suddenly shattered. There was a crackling sound like glass shattering. He immediately knew that he was about to reach Fulfillment Realm middle stage. Previously, he had devoured a large number of soul stones, causing his consciousness and magic power to be greatly strengthened. He had long been at the peak of Fulfillment Realm early stage. He was just one step away, or just one opportunity, and he would be able to reach Fulfillment Realm middle stage. Now, this opportunity had finally come. Under the attack of the Guyuan sect disciples, his body was stimulated. The enormous potential in his body was stimulated, and a large amount of magic power surged out. Coincidentally, this magic power was like a step that helped him break through to Fulfillment Realm middle stage. Once he reached Fulfillment Realm middle stage, his consciousness power, magic power, and body quality would all be greatly strengthened. It would be incomparable to before. It wouldn't be difficult for him to even go up against an early-stage divine tier cultivator. Since that's the case, let's make a breakthrough. Xia Ping also didn't continue to control the surging magic power in the depths of his purple mansion. With a dong sound, his brain region trembled, and a barrier was broken. Immediately, a large amount of magic power flooded into the purple mansion. In the depths of the purple palace, the raging sea formed by the condensation of magic power formed a huge whirlpool. It spun continuously in the middle and quickly drilled into the depths of the purple palace. As the water continued to swirl, it went deeper and deeper, opening up the Violet Kingdom space. Immediately, the entire Violet Kingdom space expanded, and the area of the sea also expanded. Fulfillment Realm middle stage. Xia Ping immediately felt enlightened. He knew that he had finally stepped into the middle stage of the Fulfillment Realm. At this moment, the space of his purple mansion was twice as large as it was before. A huge amount of magic power surged in the depths of his purple mansion. It was like a raging storm. A terrifying aura erupted from his body. With his body as the center, the area within a radius of 100 kilometers was enveloped by this magic power, setting off a boundless storm. What's going on? What's going on? The surrounding people were shocked. They felt the terrifying aura erupting from Xia Ping's body. It condensed into a solid wall of air, crazily pushing in all directions. The people around him couldn't withstand it and all retreated 2 or 3 kilometers. Some of the weaker cultivators were directly blown away by this aura, coughing up blood in midair. Are you kidding me? This kid broke through and is about to advance to the middle stage of the fulfillment realm. Someone immediately felt that the kid's aura was completely different from before. It was much stronger. Obviously, he was about to break through and step into a new realm. Oh my God, is this kid crazy? He can actually break through like this? Many of the Gui Yuan sect disciples couldn't believe their eyes. This was clearly a battle of life and death, but this kid actually used this opportunity to break through. They had never seen something like this before. His consciousness has also become stronger. Xia Ping didn't care about the surrounding people's shock. He was immersed in his emotions of advancing to the middle stage of the fulfillment realm. The power of his consciousness was also much stronger than before. He only moved his thoughts slightly, and the area within a radius of a few hundred kilometers was covered by his consciousness. Nothing could hide from the power of his consciousness. He even condensed the power of his consciousness and produced a strange power in the air. The small rocks on the ground were all trembling, as though they could float under his control. The strength of his consciousness was already enough to affect the material world. With a crack, Xia Ping used the power of his consciousness and slammed it against a rock. The rock actually shattered, and a huge crack instantly appeared. The golden crow of hell cells are also awakening. It wasn't as simple as his consciousness evolving. Xia Ping also felt that a total of 1,000 golden crow of hell cells in the depths of his body were awakening again. Immediately, a huge amount of golden crow of hell energy surged out. The blood in the depths of his body flowed like magma, showing a pale golden color like the blood of a god. It emitted an ancient, sacred, noble, chaotic, and other aura. At this moment, his bones, muscles, meridians, skin, hair, and other parts were all strengthened. They crackled, and even his bones showed a pale golden color. Vaguely, the surrounding air seemed to boil, as though a sun was rising. Deep in the sun, there seemed to be a divine bird living, raising its head to the sky and roaring, resonating with the heaven and earth. The whole earth was shaking. What is this? The surrounding people were trembling. Feeling this ancient aura, they were so scared that they almost peed their pants. They wanted to immediately crawl on the ground, as though they had encountered an unrivaled god. Daring to attack such a god was blasphemy and would be punished by the heavens. This was an opponent that mortals couldn't match. If they dared to attack, they would die. No, I can't let him continue to break through. I must stop him and make him go mad. Chen Wei's expression changed. He felt that this master potato was becoming more and more of a threat. It seemed that after advancing to the middle stage of the fulfillment realm, he already had a terrifying power that could rival the divine power realm cultivators. He felt that this absolutely couldn't continue. He must strangle this threat in the cradle. Leave it to me. I will kill him. Chapter 1163. If there was anyone present who wanted to kill Xia Ping more than Chen Wei, it would undoubtedly be Zhuo Hao. As a native of the Blood Soul mainland, he hated extraterrestrial fiends to the core and wanted to kill them all without mercy. Furthermore, this extraterrestrial fiend had even captured his exclusive property, Lu Rulan, and did all sorts of indescribable things to her. That was enough to make him explode in anger. It was as if he had been cheated on. Zhuo Hao hated Xia Ping to the core and wanted to kill him as soon as possible. Therefore, he would not allow this kid to continue growing stronger and become a huge threat to him. Let's attack together and kill this kid. Zhuo Hao commanded his subordinates and 2 or 3 of his early phase soul race friends. He had no intention of fighting alone as it was a fight to the death. Using the fastest and cruelest method to kill the opponent was the correct way to go. Yes? Many people from the soul race nodded. They could also feel the lethal threat from this kid, so they did not hesitate to follow Zhuao's orders. Soul Race secret technique: Mount Tai overhead. In an instant, their mental powers fused together. Strands of mental powers fused and converged, producing an extremely terrifying mental power. Immediately, a mountain formed by the power of the soul appeared. Like a mirage, it emitted an extremely strong sense of oppression, enough to affect the space around it. What is this? The surrounding people were shocked. They could feel the terrifying mental pressure from these people from the soul race. It was as if they had encountered an ancient beast. It was as if the opponent could crush them into pieces with just a slight movement. Oh no, this is the Mount Tai overhead. These people want to kill. Lu Rulan's expression changed. As a former saintess of the Soul Hall's branch palace, she naturally knew how terrifying the Mount Tai overhead was. It used soul power to form a mountain of nothingness. It was extremely heavy and crushed down like Mount Tai, violently attacking the enemy's soul. If the enemy could block this move, they would live. If not, they would die. However, most enemies could not block it. This was a sure kill move. Back then, when the Blood Soul mainland was invaded by extraterrestrial fiends, it was this move that instantly killed countless extraterrestrial fiends. Because this move could fuse the soul energy of countless soul race experts, the more people there were, the greater the explosive power. How could a single person's soul force resist the soul force of dozens or even hundreds of people? Therefore, most of the outer realm fiends would be instantly killed, their souls destroyed. Although there weren't several hundred of them, there were 3 to 4 divine ability realm cultivators and 20 to 30 fulfillment realm cultivators. Their combined strength was extremely terrifying. Once touched, he would die without a doubt. The soul race is truly terrifying. A look of fear appeared on Chen Wei's face. The reason why he had chosen to cooperate with the soul race and sign a spiritual contract instead of killing all of them and obtaining all the soul stones was because of the soul race. It was because he was wary of this move from the soul race. Once the other party was forced into a desperate situation, even a final counterattack before death could kill them all. The secret soul technique was truly terrifying. This was also the reason why the death rate in the Blood Soul continent was so high. It would be fine if the Soul Tribe didn't discover them, but once they did, they would basically die. But this way, this kid is dead for sure. Chen Wei looked at Xia Ping pitifully, thinking that this kid was extremely unlucky. He had just broken through and didn't even have the time to celebrate before he was killed on the spot. However, this was also the fate of a rogue cultivator. He offended Chen Wei and even dared to kill a disciple of the Gui Yuan sect. If he still didn't die after this, there would be no justice in the world. Go to hell! Zhuao shouted angrily, his body filled with a terrifying murderous intent. Rumble! Immediately, a huge mountain came crashing down on Xia Ping's soul. It was as if Mount Tai was crashing down on him. The air exploded inch by inch, as if it was going to crush the ground. The soul force of dozens of people gathered together, especially the soul force of a few divine ability realm cultivators, was unbelievably strong. Ordinary people would be crushed just by touching it. Before it reached Xia Ping, there were dozens of universe warriors on the ground who couldn't withstand it and were instantly crushed. Blood flowed out of their orifices and their souls were destroyed. They died just like that. What a strong soul force attack. Xia Ping's eyes flashed coldly. He could feel that this soul force attack was extraordinary. It was pure strength. When fighting with the enemy, whoever was stronger would win. However, no matter how strong this power was, it was still far from the soul imprint on the Chen Kun wall. In an instant, he activated the Tree of World in the depths of his soul. A towering tree appeared. It seemed to have taken root in the void, giving birth to countless branches. It was as if it was a natural treasure that had existed since ancient times. The moment it appeared, the world seemed to be in a state of stillness. It emitted a faint green light, as if everything within a radius of tens of miles was in a green domain. Boom! At this moment, a huge mountain came crashing down from the void, smashing onto the Tree of World. However, in an instant, the mountain collapsed, shattering inch by inch into countless pieces. No matter how strong the mountain was, it wasn't even worth mentioning in front of the Tree of World. It couldn't even crush a single branch. When it smashed down, the branch pierced through the entire mountain. Moreover, Xia Ping stood where he was, unharmed. How is this possible? Zhuo Hao and the others were dumbfounded. Dozens of them had joined forces to use the Mount Tai crushing technique in order to destroy this kid with lightning speed and get rid of this threat. However, from the looks of it, the Mount Tai crushing technique didn't seem to have any effect on this kid. Instead, their own Mount Tai had collapsed, and nothing had happened to Yi Futian. This was too ridiculous. Could it be that Yi Futian's soul force was stronger than dozens of them combined? Otherwise, how could such an unimaginable thing happen? Kill. Before Zhuo Hao and the others could figure out what had happened, Xia Ping was unforgiving. He activated the power of the Tree of World. Whoosh! Immediately, the Tree of World trembled, and countless branches extended rapidly. Like god-slaying spears, they stabbed toward Zhuo Hao and the other soul cultivators. This was a stab of nothingness. This was a stab aimed at the soul. Bang, bang, bang. Without any obstruction, these branches instantly pierced through the souls of the soul cultivators, turning their souls upside down. It was as if they had been torn into pieces in an instant. Ah! Chapter 1164. One by one, the soul natives could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. They had failed to kill Xia Ping and instead suffered a backlash. Their souls were severely injured and they bled from their orifices. Bang, bang, bang. Soon, they all fell to the ground one by one. Large amounts of blood flowed out of their bodies. 2 of their eyeballs had exploded on the spot and their bodies twitched continuously. Not long after, the soul natives stopped twitching. They were clearly no longer alive. They're all dead. Lu Rulan's beautiful eyes widened as she looked at the group of soul soldiers. She could clearly sense that they no longer had any signs of life. All that was left of their bodies were empty shells. This was the terrifying part of a battle of mind power. Success was naturally great as they could kill the enemy instantly. However, failure would result in a backlash that would affect their bodies and result in instant death. There was no such thing as captivity in a war on the Blood Soul mainland. A battle of mind power between both sides was filled with the risk of death. Once they failed, they had no other choice but to die. Even if they survived, they would become idiots. This was the cruel part of a battle on the Blood Soul mainland. In a battle among the soul race, there was only victory and death. Oh no, run quickly. However, Zhuo Hao was not dead yet. Although he was also heavily injured, the problem was that his cultivation was stronger. Moreover, he had sensed that something was wrong at the crucial moment and quickly retracted his divine consciousness. As a result, he suffered a relatively minor backlash and was only heavily injured physically. However, the others were in a terrible state. All of their souls had been pierced by the world tree and completely shattered. Even a deity would not be able to save their lives. Immediately, he felt a sincere fear towards Xia Ping. They were no match for such a monster. If they stayed here, they would definitely be killed by this extraterrestrial demon. Without another word, Zhuo Hao quickly fled as if he wished his parents had given him more legs. He fled into the distance, hoping to get away from this demon and escape with his life. Don't even think of running. Xia Ping would not let Zhuo Hao escape. Once he did, he would definitely inform the Soul Hall. When that happened, he would definitely be hunted down by countless people on the Blood Soul mainland. The consequences would be endless. Therefore, Zhuo Hao would definitely die. He did not even look and pointed at the void. With a whoosh, a condensed force shot out. It was extremely fast and tore through the air like a laser. With a bang, the force pierced through Zhuo Hao's back. Even his heart was crushed on the spot. Zhuo Hao's body immediately stopped moving. His eyes were wide open, filled with fear, unwillingness, and regret. If he hadn't cooperated with Chen Wei, perhaps he wouldn't have met such a fate. He wouldn't have met such a death god. But no matter what, it was too late. With a put-on sound, his body went rigid, losing all signs of life, falling to the ground just like that. Large amounts of blood flowed out from his body, covering the surrounding muddy earth. Mom, Dad, I've finally avenged you. Lu Rulan was overcome with emotion when she saw Zhuahao die on the spot. The enemy who had killed her entire family had finally died in front of her. Although she was not the one who had killed the traitor, it did not matter. In short, the death of this enemy was the best thing. She had finally gotten her revenge. Damn it, where did this monster come from? Even the Spirida's Mount Tai suppression art couldn't do anything to him. Instead, it was instantly killed by him. Many Spirida's warriors were killed by the backlash of their mental strength. Just how powerful is his divine sense? It's not necessarily the power of divine sense. Maybe he has some kind of powerful secret treasure that can resist mental strength attacks. That's why he is unharmed. Damn it, even the Spirida's warriors are no match for him. Does he want to overturn the heavens? Many Guiyuan sect disciples' faces were extremely ugly. Originally, this battle was within their grasp. They should have been able to kill this group of people, complete the spiritual contract with the Spiritas, and obtain a large number of soul stones. The original plan was very smooth at the beginning. Most of the people were poisoned and did not have the strength to fight with them. They were like sheep waiting to be slaughtered. However, they did not expect that a rogue cultivator, Wu Taidu, would suddenly appear and completely destroy their plan. Even senior brother Fan Ming and the others died tragically in his hands. Now, the group of Spirita soldiers were all killed. Not a single one was left. Although they didn't care about the death of the Soul Ray soldiers, the power displayed by Master Mutato made their hearts palpitate and they felt as if there was a blade on their backs. Wu Taidu. Chen Wei stared at Xia Ping and said, I admit that I underestimated you before. I am very sorry about this. If you are willing, I can share this soul stone mine equally with you. Anyway, now that this group of Spiritas is dead, no one can stop us? He wanted to bury the hatchet with Xia Ping. If he could resolve the conflict, it would be for the best. Many Guiyuan sect disciples clenched their fists. They were very unwilling. Now, they actually wanted to talk peace with this rogue cultivator who killed so many Guiyuan sect disciples. It was simply a joke. Since when did the Guiyuan sect bow to this extent? Facing this murderer, they could only talk peace. They could not kill this devil on the spot and take revenge. Their hearts were filled with anger and unwillingness. Equally. Xia Ping suddenly smiled, but it was a mocking smile. He looked at Chen Wei and said, Chen Wei, when you wanted to kill me just now, why didn't you think of equally? If he did not have a little strength, he would have been killed by Chen Wei. He would have died without a burial place. This was a deadly feud. Now that this kid saw that he had the power to kill everyone present, he wanted to talk peace and bury the hatchet. If killing people and doing evil things could be settled by just apologizing and drinking 3 glasses of wine as punishment, then what was the point of having the police and the law? Since you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, then go to hell. Chen Wei snorted coldly. Hearing these words, he knew that it was impossible to talk peace. They had to fight to see who was stronger. With a clang, a cold light exploded. Immediately, a 3-feet-long black sword appeared in his hand. This was a low-grade spiritual weapon, shadow-devouring demon sword. Kid, I will let you know how terrible it is to offend Guiyuan sect and me. You will regret in the depths of hell why you met me, Chen Wei. Chen Wei sneered again and again. He infused his magic power into the shadow-devouring demon sword. Walala, the shadow-devouring demon sword immediately trembled. A black fog emanated from its body and spread out rapidly. In just a few breaths' time, the black fog covered a radius of more than 10 kilometers. This black fog contained an extremely strong corrosive aura. It was extremely destructive to magic power and could even blind the 5 senses. It was definitely a demonic sword. Chapter 1165. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. He sensed that the entire world had darkened. A radius of dozens of kilometers was shrouded in black mist. Not a single ray of sunlight could seep in. It was as if he was in a world of darkness. In a world of darkness like this, one's vision had already been taken away. It was equivalent to losing a portion of one's power and being at a relative disadvantage. He even sensed that in this world of darkness, even the power of consciousness was greatly hindered. It was as if some powerful force was repelling consciousness. Of course, for someone with an enormous consciousness like him, this bit of hindrance was nothing. But for cultivators of the same level, or even those in the transcendent realm, it was a nightmarish scene. Kill. Die, Master Mutato. At this moment, a terrifying murderous intent came from the darkness. The ones who attacked were the remaining 3 Transcendent Realm cultivators and 5 Fulfillment Realm cultivators. They took this opportunity to attack. One was a Transcendent Realm cultivator who mastered the martial arts Mystic Art, Flowing Water Fist. His mana surged like the boundless sea, manipulating the water energy of the world to form mountains and rivers. In the air, streams of water condensed into substance like water dragons and strangled towards Xia Ping. Once hit, his entire body would be shattered. One was a cultivator who mastered the martial arts Mystic Art, Demon Eagle Claw. This was a claw technique that imitated the ancient demon eagle. When it was unleashed, it was as if an ancient ferocious bird had come back to life, emitting endless baleful aura and killing intent. In an instant, a black eagle claw reached over, tearing through the air. Endless air currents gathered in this sharp claw. He wanted to crush Xia Ping's entire body. The last one was a cultivator who mastered the Blade Dao Mystic Art, Greenwood Blade Art. He gripped his blade tightly and slashed horizontally. Endless wood energy gathered in the blade. With a thud, he stabbed the blade into the ground and a terrifying wood mana poured into the earth. Immediately, the wood mana that symbolized endless vitality covered an area. On the ground, green vines grew out like poisonous snakes. They broke out of the ground and instantly wrapped around Xia Ping. If he was caught by these vines, he would die without a doubt. The other 5 Fulfillment Realm cultivators followed behind him. They worked together and formed a unique formation. Their breathing merged together as if they were one, and their aura was no weaker than that of a divine ability realm cultivator. This group of people seemed to be used to fighting in the dark. In a world of darkness like this, they were like fish in water. They clearly knew where Xia Ping was. Not bad. Xia Ping could feel the pressure coming towards him. If it was before, he might have had a hard time dealing with this pressure, and he might have been surrounded by danger. But after advancing to the middle stage of the Fulfillment Realm, his magic power was twice as strong as before, and his divine sense was also twice as strong. He had even awakened 1,000 golden crow hell cells and tempered his body. It could be said that his current strength was not inferior to a cultivator in the early phase of Divine Realm. Even if this group of people came in a menacing manner, they were still not enough to give him a lethal pressure. Black Vortex Ripple Fist. Just as these people were about to attack, Xia Ping took a step forward and suddenly punched out. The magic power in the depths of his Zifu surged out like a surging wave and instilled into his fist. Boom, boom, boom. In an instant, the world's Yuan Qi in the surroundings vibrated. With Xia Ping's fist as the center, it turned into a huge black vortex of magic power, covering the surrounding area and producing a terrifying suction force. It seemed that at this moment, the surrounding air had turned into black water. Any sunlight that entered this vortex was completely devoured, like a black hole. What? These Gui Yuan sect disciples were shocked. They could not believe their eyes because they found that all their attacks landed on the black vortex, but they did not have any effect and were completely devoured. Whether it was water, eagle claws, or vines, they disappeared as soon as they entered the black vortex. It was as if they had entered the mouth of a giant beast and were instantly digested. Kill. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes, and he punched again. This was an extreme punch, containing the profound of a saint-level fist technique, filled with the power of a spiral. In the void, dozens of fist marks immediately appeared, condensing into a solid form. It was like a punch that had existed since ancient times, shaking the void and exploding the air with the power to tear a mountain apart. Immediately, These Guiyuan sect disciples could not block it and were immediately hit by this punch. The terrifying spiral force seeped into their bodies. Even if they had protective skills, it was useless, and they were instantly torn apart by the fist force. First, the bodies of the 5 fulfillment realm cultivators exploded on the spot like watermelons, exploding in midair. They were killed by a single punch just like that. The remaining 3 mystic realm cultivators were strong and had strong bodies. Although they were in a better situation, the strong fist force still seeped into their lungs and destroyed them crazily. It was as if they were being minced by a meat grinder, and they were heavily injured on the spot. Oh no, this guy is a monster. Fuck his ancestors. Who said that this guy is a loose cultivator? He's a monster. Retreat, retreat, retreat immediately. We can't fight him head-on. The 3 Guiyuan sect mystic realm cultivators were so scared that they peed their pants. They had joined forces and were actually killed by this guy. 5 of their juniors were killed on the spot, and the 3 of them were heavily injured. If there was another punch, they would not be able to survive. Before this, they were still mocking Master Mutato for being a loose cultivator who came to suck up to them to complete the task. Now, it seemed that he did not need to suck up to them. It was already good enough that they did not suck up to him. They reckoned that even among the Saint-class sects, there was no such terrifying monster. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The 3 mystic realm cultivators were so scared that their faces were ashen. They did not dare to stay where they were. They rolled and crawled, using all their skills to leave this dangerous place. Xia Ping dashed forward and used the rock steps. A pair of infernal golden crow wings grew on his back. One side was red and the other was black. The feathers were condensed from flames and seemed to contain countless mysterious runes. With a whoosh, his speed was extremely fast. Countless figures appeared in midair. In an instant, he arrived in front of the 3 Guiyuan sect mystic realm disciples and threw a punch. Not good. The expressions of the 3 mystic realm cultivators changed. They tried to block, but it was too late. The punch landed on their bodies. It was like the attack of an ancient elephant, enough to penetrate the earth. With a dong, their bodies were immediately penetrated by the fist force. A huge bloody hole appeared on their chests. Boom! Chapter 1166. Just as Xia Ping landed on the ground, a dazzling cold light flashed in the darkness, like a strand of sword energy piercing through the sky, striking towards his back. It could be said that this sword was simply wonderful, taking advantage of the moment when Xia Ping's old strength was exhausted and new strength had yet to be generated. It came to kill, wanting to pierce through Xia Ping's body. The one who attacked was obviously Chen Wei. He had been hiding in the dark for a long time, even when he saw his junior brother killed by Xia Ping with one punch and many of his junior brothers dying on the spot. He was indifferent, not even the slightest bit moved. Until this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity appeared, he suddenly appeared again, wanting to kill Xia Ping with one sword. Die, Master Mutato! Chen Wei shouted. His face was extremely ferocious. He held the low-grade spirit weapon, shadow-devouring demon sword, in his hand, displaying a sure kill sword. He himself was at the early stage of divinity realm. Coupled with the power of the low-grade spirit weapon, this sword was extremely frightening. The sword energy condensed into a substance, like a poisonous snake. It had the power to destroy everything. Xia Ping stood in the same place. The sword also firmly stabbed into Xia Ping's body. The powerful and sharp sword energy burst out, but at this moment, a layer of black energy appeared on Xia Ping's body. Low-grade spirit weapon, black horn armor. In this dangerous moment, Xia Ping also activated the low-grade spiritual weapon black horn armor on his body. Layers of black energy shields appeared, and many tortoiseshell patterns appeared, condensing into a solid form. It had an extremely powerful defensive ability, as if a black-horned ferocious beast had descended, and it had the defensive ability to block most attacks. Rumble, at this moment, the shadow-devouring demon sword and the black horn armor collided. This was the collision of low-grade spirit weapons against low-grade spirit weapons. It was a contest between a spear and a shield, it immediately burst out an earth-shattering sound. Two energies collided, it ignited dazzling sparks. The aftermath of this energy immediately shook the ground, penetrating hundreds of meters. The earth split open, unexpectedly forming a huge abyss. Impossible, you also have a low-grade spirit weapon, and it is a defensive type? Chen Wei was shocked. He originally thought that his sword was flawless. He could kill Master Matato. Who would have thought that this kid also had a lower-grade spiritual weapon on him? Moreover, it was a defensive lower-grade spiritual weapon. One must know that in the universe, a spirit artifact was considered a high-grade artifact. It was not something that could be easily bought. Even Chen Wei had to pay a huge price to obtain it. However, this kid actually also had a low-grade spiritual weapon on him. This was really too unfair. Why did this rogue cultivator have so many trump cards on him? Moreover, he seemed to be richer than him. He was so jealous that his intestines turned green. You're the only one allowed to have a magic treasure, but I don't? Do you think you can kill me just because you found this opportunity? What a joke. Your every move is within my observation range. Even if you raise your tail, I would know if you want to shit or pee. Xia Ping said in disdain, "Give up, you can't kill me." No, I don't believe that I can't kill you. I, Chen Wei, am a dignified divine realm cultivator. How can I not kill a mere fulfillment realm wandering cultivator like you? That's impossible. Chen Wei roared, unwilling to give up. This matter was related to his pride. He thought of himself as a genius disciple of the Guyuan sect and a divine realm cultivator. If he couldn't even kill a mere fulfillment realm wandering cultivator, then he would have no face to speak of. If he, Chen Wei, retreated here, thinking that he was no match for this rogue cultivator, then when he ascended to a higher realm in the future, it would definitely become a demon in his heart. This would become a huge obstacle on his path to becoming a sage. No matter what, Chen Wei would not allow such a thing to happen. He had to kill this arrogant rogue cultivator. Only then would he be able to think clearly. Whoosh, at this moment, he poured all of his mana into the shadow-devouring demon sword. Immediately, the sword was activated with a majestic black demonic chi, flashing with black sword light. Many formation runes appeared on its surface. Countless black demonic chi emanated from the void, seemingly condensing into blood-colored skulls. At this moment, the temperature of the area within a radius of several dozen miles seemed to have dropped. Waves of bone-chilling cold spread out. The ground seemed to be swept by this cold current, quickly freezing over. This was not ordinary cold chi, but demonic chi. It had a terrifying aura that could corrode ordinary life. Break for me, hurry up and break for me. Chen Wei gripped the shadow-devouring demon sword in his hand and roared madly. He desperately wanted to use this sword to pierce through the defense of the black horn armor. His entire body was trembling, and he bit his lips so hard that they almost bled. Bang, bang, bang. Suddenly, the 3-foot-long sword pierced the black energy shield, exploding with dazzling sparks. It sounded like steel rubbing against the ground, clanging. Under Chen Wei's control, the sword pierced through the black energy shield bit by bit. Break my ass. So noisy. Without waiting for Chen Wei to continue, Xia Ping immediately attacked. He would not foolishly watch Chen Wei pierce through his black horn armor. He immediately slapped at Chen Wei. Oh no. Chen Wei's expression changed. He wanted to dodge Xia Ping's attack, but he found that his shadow-devouring demon sword had long been trapped in the energy shield of the black horn armor. At this moment he could not move at all. A palm came from the void. It was like the attack of a ferocious beast. It contained an extremely fierce palm power. It slapped Chen Wei's body, and the air exploded. Chen Wei let out a shrill scream. He could not hold the shadow-devouring demon sword in his hand. His body flew out like a ball, sliding in the air. The terrifying palm power penetrated his internal organs. More than a dozen of his ribs were broken. Every nerve in his body was hurting. It was more painful than having tens of thousands of ants biting his body. What shocked Chen Wei the most was that the palm power contained a terrifying flame power. It was a strange flame. It seeped into his body and quickly burned away his Dharma power. This also caused his Dharma power to be in disorder. Bang! Chen Wei hit the ground hard like a dead dog. The ground shook, and more than a dozen cracks appeared. As he fell to the ground, the shadow-devouring demon's sword lost its power. The surrounding black fog quickly dissipated, and the clear world was restored. The sun shone brightly. However, most of the disciples from the various sects had died in the battle just now. They were either killed by the disciples of the Guiyuan sect or killed by the attack of the Soul Clan warriors. Only Chang Xian and a few others did not die in the aftermath of the battle because of Xia Ping's intentional protection. Even so, Chang Xian and the others fainted and fell to the ground, unconscious. Chapter 1167. As expected of the disciple chosen by me, Corinne. Corinne stroked his white beard and was very satisfied with the situation. At this moment, the enemies were basically all dead, and there was no lack of powerful divinity realm cultivators among them. According to Xia Ping's current strength of fulfillment realm, there were not many people in the universe who could create such a battle record. God knows how many people would be scared to death if it was spread out. Corinne was very emotional. Chen Wei and the group of Guiyuan sect disciples did not know what kind of terrifying devil they had offended. They brought this upon themselves. Moreover, once this group of people died, the entire Soul Stone mine would belong to them, and they would gain a lot of benefits. Alright, let's end this. At this moment, Xia Ping stepped forward and wanted to end Chen Wei's life with a palm. After all, he was a Guiyuan sect disciple. If he let him escape, who knew what kind of trouble he would cause, so he had to eliminate him. But at this moment, Chen Wei, who was like a corpse and could not move, suddenly moved like the last radiance of a setting sun. He felt the murderous aura from Xia Ping. He straightened his body like a carp, and his figure flickered like a ghost. In an instant he moved to Lu Rulan's side and stared at Xia Ping fiercely. Master Matedo, don't move. If you dare to take a step forward, this woman's life will be gone. At this moment, Chen Wei grabbed Lu Rulan as a hostage. His face was incomparably ferocious. Although he was seriously injured, he still had some strength left. It was easy for him to kill an unconscious person. As a Guiyuan sect disciple, you actually used such a despicable method to capture a hostage. Don't you feel ashamed? Even if you die, you should at least die with some dignity. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. Bullshit. Die my ass. Chen Wei scolded, damn you. What bullshit dignity? What's the use of dignity when you're dead? In short, if you dare to act rashly, I'll smash her head with a palm. I think you don't want to see such a beautiful woman die tragically in my hands. Don't you think it's a very fair thing to exchange her life for mine? In order to survive, he would use any means. Even if he was looked down upon as despicable and shameless, he would not care. In essence, he believed that everyone but himself was disposable. Chen Wei, I think you've misunderstood something. Do you think you can threaten me with her life? Do you really think I care about her? Xia Ping remained expressionless as he looked at Chen Wei calmly. Do you think I would let you go just to save her life? You overestimate the value of this woman. His tone was awe-inspiring, revealing a dense killing intent that caused others to tremble in fear. Master Matedo, don't boast here, I have seen through your character. Chen Wei sneered, if you really don't care about this woman, come and slap me to death if you have the guts. At most, I'll take this woman down with me. But do you dare? Do you have guts? He could see that the essence of this Master Matedo was a seductress, a pure seductress. He was reluctant to let go of this beautiful woman, so he was fearless. Moreover, this was his last resort. After all, if he couldn't even threaten Chen Wei, he would really die. No matter what, this was the last straw for him to live. Even if he really died, he had to hold on to it. Are you trying to provoke me? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and stared at Chen Wei. But seeing Xia Ping's expression, Chen Wei became more and more arrogant. He thought that he had caught Xia Ping's weakness. Son of a bitch, so what if I provoke you? Anyway, the hostage is in my hands. It's not that I look down on you, but you are a coward. If you have the guts, kill this woman and me. Come on, if you really have the guts, why don't you come and kill me? I'm right here, weak and powerless. If you have the guts, come and kill me. He shouted crazily. He seemed to have seen through Xia Ping's weakness and concluded that this kid didn't dare to make a move. Now, he had the momentum of having the hostage in his hands. I'll then go to hell. Xia Ping looked at Chen Wei indifferently. What? Chen Wei was shocked. Is this kid really going to kill me without caring about the woman's life? This was completely out of his expectations. At that moment, the infinite war blades that had been hiding in the ground appeared. They shot out from the depths of the ground, moving at a speed 10 times faster than the speed of sound. Cutting through the ground was as easy as cutting through tofu. Not good. Chen Wei's expression changed. His body instinctively warned him of danger, but he had no idea where the danger was coming from. There was no killing intent in the surroundings. Bang! In the next second, a blade pierced out from the ground, causing the ground to crack and a huge hole to appear. In an instant, the infinite war blades pierced through Chen Wei's body. The infinite war blades contained a trace of the power of a sacred gear. It was not something that a mere divine realm cultivator could withstand. Even though his protective vigor was strong, the infinite war blades pierced through him like a piece of paper. His entire body split open from the middle, and just like that, he was cut into 2 halves by the sword. Large amounts of blood spurted out like a fountain, dripping and dripping. Chen Wei's eyes were filled with fear, regret, and unwillingness. He wanted to slap Lu Rulan to death before he died, but it was too late. The infinite war blades were faster than he could move. When he tried to make a move, his body was torn apart. I can't accept this. Just before his body was torn apart, Chen Wei roared into the sky in grief and anger. He was a disciple of the Guyuan sect and a divine realm cultivator. He had a bright future ahead of him, and he even had the chance to step into the sage realm in the future. However, he was killed on the spot in this aboriginal continent, losing his bright future. How could the ambitious Chen Wei be willing to accept this? How could he accept it? No matter how unwilling he was killed on the spot. Even a deity could not save him. Stupid. Xia Ping looked down at Chen Wei indifferently. The reason why he talked so much to Chen Wei was to distract the kids so that the infinite war blades could be used in secret. With the power of the infinite war blades and the fact that it did not have any killing intent, ordinary cultivators would not be able to detect its whereabouts. It was known as the strongest killer. Therefore, when it made its move, it unleashed its strongest power and killed Chen Wei in an instant. He did not even have the chance to fight back. He was killed just like that. How was he supposed to defend against such an attack? Chapter 1168. Am I dead? After some time, Lu Rulan slowly woke up. She opened her beautiful eyes and realized that she was lying on the ground. The moment she fainted, she thought she had entered the underworld. However, when she regained consciousness and felt the faint pain in her body, she immediately knew that she was not dead. She was still alive and well in this world. The magic power in my body has recovered. Could it be that the medicinal effect has passed? Lu Rulan suddenly realized that she had recovered her powerful magic and could move freely. She immediately stood up from the ground and realized that apart from herself and Xia Ping, there were not many people alive. She looked over and realized that the extraterrestrial devil, Xia Ping, was destroying the corpses. With a gentle tap of his finger, a flame shot out and landed on one of the corpses. After a few breaths, the corpse turned into ashes. A strong wind blew, and it disappeared from this world. A few minutes later, apart from Chang Xian and the rest who were unconscious, the rest of the corpses were gone. Lu Rulan felt like she was hallucinating. If it wasn't for the fact that the place was severely damaged with potholes everywhere, as well as the fact that she had just experienced something, she would have thought that nothing had happened. This bastard was too good at destroying corpses. How many evil things had he done? What happened? Are the others all dead? How long has it been? How did the poison in my body disappear? Lu Rulan stepped forward and asked Xia Ping a series of questions. Yes, they're all dead. Xia Ping nodded. Not too long. Only half an hour has passed. Also, I've detoxified the poison in your body, so you should be fine now. To him, detoxifying the poison in Lu Rulan's body was a piece of cake. As long as he inserted his flame, the poison would be burned away immediately. However, he did not do that earlier because he was worried that he would alert Chen Wei and the rest. However, it did not matter now that they were all dead. Are they all dead? Lu Rulan was relieved. She knew that her greatest enemy, Zhuo Hao, had been killed by Xia Ping and she had her revenge. However, she felt empty inside. She did not know what she would become in the future. By the way, come here. I've plundered a lot of things from the Huaining City Soul Palace Master. Can you identify what it is? Xia Ping called out to Lu Rulan and took out a pile of items. He had woken Lu Rulan up because of this matter. He wanted to know the origins of the treasures on Zhuo Hao. This is the soul-nourishing pill. It's very beneficial for divine tier cultivators. It can increase the strength of the soul and is even more beneficial than soul stones. Moreover, there are no side effects. The medicinal effect is mild, but the price is shocking. Lu Rulan was very envious when she saw 4 to 5 bottles of such pills on the ground. Back then, the Lu family had to pay a huge price to obtain the soul cultivation pills. But now, Xia Ping had casually obtained 4 to 5 bottles of them. What a lucky bastard. Perhaps only a divine tier cultivator would have such precious pills. These pills were not only obtained from Zhuo Hao. Xia Ping had also plundered other divine tier cultivators from the Soul Tribe and had only obtained 4 to 5 bottles of the soul cultivation pills. And these are the more precious spiritual medicines in our blood soul mainland. Golden thread ginseng, northern grass crow, earthroot grass, etc. Lu Rulan listed the spiritual medicines that Xia Ping had obtained in one breath. They were all beneficial to the human body. What about this? What's this badge? Xia Ping took out a black badge that was only the size of a palm. He felt that the black badge contained a mysterious power. It seemed to be engraved with a complicated and mysterious spiritual seal. It was unfathomable. This is the badge of the Soul Palace's branch. It's also the badge of the Palace Master. Seeing this badge is the same as seeing the Palace Master. Lu Rulan was shocked when she saw the badge. It was her first time seeing the Palace Master's badge. I heard that this badge is very precious and cannot be lost. After obtaining this badge, you can mobilize all the armed forces of the Soul Palace in Huaining City. Even all the seal formations in the Soul Palace's branch are under the control of this badge. With this badge, you can enter any forbidden ground in the Soul Palace's branch. You can even control the teleportation formation to report to the main hall. She told him everything she knew in one breath. There's such a thing? Seems like this badge is very useful. Xia Ping rubbed his chin and his eyes flickered. Baddie, what are you trying to do? Don't tell me you're trying to do something bad with this badge? Lu Rulan instinctively sensed that something bad was about to happen. She felt that the Soul Palace was a powerful item that had fallen into the hands of an extraterrestrial devil. If this extraterrestrial devil wanted to do something bad, the Soul Palace would not be able to stop him. Of course. Why would a good person like me want to do something bad? I just want to visit the Soul Palace, Xia Ping said with a smile. He could not forget about the inheritance of the Soul Tribe. Even though he had killed so many Soul Tribe warriors, he still could not find any spiritual secret skills. One could imagine how strict the Soul Tribe was in monitoring their secret skills. They would not allow it to be leaked. You really want to do something bad? Lu Rulan shouted, I advise you not to act recklessly. There are many experts in the Soul Palace. Who knows how many divine power realm cultivators there are? Their strength is not something Zhuo Hao can compare with. If you dare to go in and you're discovered by the Soul Palace, you definitely won't be able to escape. I advise you to give up on such a dangerous idea. She tried her best to dissuade Xia Ping because she knew how terrifying this extraterrestrial devil was. If this baddie really entered the Soul Palace, there was no telling how much damage he would cause. It might even shake the entire Blood Soul mainland. Something like the Soul Palace's headquarters being invaded by an extraterrestrial devil was simply unheard of. It was something that had not happened in the past tens of thousands of years. Don't worry. I'll only go in when I'm fully prepared. Xia Ping patted his chest. Lu Rulan's face turned green. As expected, he still wanted to go in. Moreover, he wanted to be fully prepared. Just how shocking was this extraterrestrial devil going to do before he would give up? That's right. I'll have to check the treasures on Chen Wei and the rest as well. Xia Ping ignored Lu Rulan. He made a grabbing motion with his hand and dozens of spatial rings appeared. They were all found on Chen Wei and the rest. They had all stored their treasures in the spatial rings. In the current universe, spatial rings were very common items. Basically, everyone had one. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.